What's up, guys?
Hello and welcome to the Sausage Factory. I'm your moderator, Pizzell. Joining me tonight on this Best of 2018 show, I have got the official fifth member of the Sausage Factory, Andrew, aka Mr. McNugget. What's up, man? How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing great, Piz. Thanks for having me again. I always appreciate it.
Yeah, always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. Also joining me tonight is author, critic, intellectual. I can't think of any. I'm just not as smart as you. I'm talking about Orc. Orc, how you doing tonight, sir?
Doing amazing. You know, I'm a memer. Oh, wait. B-movie Mike, look. Hey, guys. I just want to let you know, again, I'm memeing and dreaming over here in the Northeast. Oh, back down there.
Mike wouldn't be caught dead at a Patriots hat. I know that much.
I'm fucking doing great, guys. This is my creepy Kentuckian look. There, guys. Weight loss is going great. Send your UV codes to fucking imaleech@gmail.com.
Orc, don't make.
Yeah, okay.
Orc.
I'm doing great though. How are you guys doing?
Jeez, oh Pete, Orc. Jeez, oh Pete.
Got him. Oh baby.
Orc is on fire tonight. I don't know. Orc, have you been drinking too much coffee or what?
No, I just
or are you just high on life? Are you high on life or what?
I'm not gonna lie. You know, there's like venti frappuccinos. You can't say large or supersized because fucking America. But you know, I had a extra large frappuccino type thing from Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm feeling good. Woo! Oh, the sugar runs through my veins.
Flying
it's like
high
Jimmy
on that
had
D&D.
inject into his fucking eyeball. It's great. It's like, it's great.
Yeah, I just hopped on Twitter and it seems like Adderall is trending. Do you have anything to do with that?
No, not anytime lately. Nope.
Orc's cut way back on his Adderall usage.
Guys, I'm undercontent, please. No. Lawyer, thank you.
All right, we'll move away.
Asshole.
We'll move away from Orc before we get, I don't know, incarcerated. You know, Orc may say the wrong thing and we'll all end up, you know, I don't know. Who knows? But also with me tonight is a real author, a real critic, a real, you know, intellectual, I can't even, I'm having an off night tonight. Lauren, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing very well. Doing very, very well.
How cold is it there?
It's not bad. We've actually had one of those swings where it went from like 30 to 50. And right now I believe it's somewhere like today the high was like 50 something. But now it's getting colder. It's getting cold. That's actually the look. That's actually my security camera outside my house right there. So just you know, got to keep things real. So but yeah, crazy weather up down. You know, next week I think it's supposed to be back down in like the 30s and snowing. So I mean, who knows? Just crazy weather here. Crazy weather. Yeah. Also with me is Jay the Stingray. What's up, Stingray?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What you been up to, man?
Good. Everyone have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, pretty good Thanksgiving. You guys have a good Thanksgiving?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good? Cool. Sure. What about you, Stingray? Did you deep fry that turkey?
I did. I fried a couple birds. It was nice. And we beat the shit out of Ole Miss. We beat the absolute dog shit out of Ole Miss. So that really made the night for me.
Okay.
It was like 40-something to like 3. I think we gave them 3. So that was worth it. Okay, definitely made my year.
So you had some nice deep fried turkey, and then you got to watch the game, and your team won. That's pretty cool.
And just, you know, naps, constant naps in between.
I understand. That much turkey, I mean, you've got a nap. So, yeah. But yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since we've been live, and so what's happened with you guys since then? I know we've had we've had Black Friday since then. We've had, of course, Thanksgiving. Have you guys seen any good movies or get into any fun shenanigans since our last show? What about? I guess that's no. I guess it's been a pretty slow couple of weeks,
Not all at once.
which is fine because it's been a pretty slow couple of weeks for me too. So, not seen any. Well, I've seen some old movies on new Blu-ray releases, but nothing really new.
I finally caught Mandy when that was released on Shudder.
Ah.
I watched that a couple times, and I got to say, man, I was kind of underwhelmed by it. It seems like people love it. And,
it's been super hyped. Everybody's like loved, which I mean, I loved it, but I mean, it has been really hyped. But I mean, I think I loved it. I thought
what I had really problems with was the pacing, but that's what I was thinking about. I was like, I know you're a big fan of Michael Mann, Piz, and I was like, that's why Piz likes this movie so much, because it's the pacing is really like, that's really what the movie's all about. So it's kind of reminded me of a Michael Mann style movie.
I guess you could say that Michael Mann on LSD or something.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I loved it. I know it's gotten just rave reviews. I actually heard that it's been disqualified from the Oscars this year, from Oscar contention.
Oh, okay, good.
For whatever reason, and I was like, well, yeah, because it's good. Why would the Oscars nominate a good movie? I don't get it. So
I don't think they have to worry about it winning any awards.
Yeah. But yeah. Anybody else see anything good, bad, indifferent?
Let's talk about Shudder. Did you guys watch the Joe Bob Dinners of Death?
I did not. I missed that entire. That's the second one I missed in its entirety. Now the first one I caught up with, but no, I've not caught up with this one.
I enjoyed watching him do the Texas Chainsaw, and thankfully he opened with it. But he's just fun to listen to him gush over stuff that he really likes,
Mm-hmm.
And even more fun probably when he goes over things he doesn't like. But his rules for what he doesn't like are also kind of what makes me like him too. If he's bored, he doesn't get any stars, and that's about the only rule he has. So I mean, I can listen to the guy talk forever. I mean, is it off the cuff sounding? Yeah, but it's very well put together at the same time. I mean, it's like kind of planned, unplanned kind of feel about it that's always felt so good. And he sounds like he's rambling, but it's all right there.
Right. Yeah. Anybody else catch the Joe Bob Thanksgiving marathon on Shudder?
I caught the first one, but really the only movie that I want to see out of the second one is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A movie you've probably never seen, Piz, because you're fucking casual. But
never heard
I want to watch that. I'm just waiting. I have like a string of movies that I'm gonna watch, like Mandy's one, A Quiet Place, Hereditary, Unsane. For when we get like a blizzard, when it's like 3 feet of snow and like you can't salt anything and like everyone's like flying off the roads. So I'm gonna stay inside for 24 hours and watch all that shit. So.
Yeah,
I saw Creed 2 though. Sorry to cut you off, Jay.
Yeah, I actually missed the Joe Bob Briggs thing. I was gonna check it out, but I hopped on Twitter and I saw they're having problems with the stream again. I was like, I'm not doing this again. I was so pissed off.
It was clean for me. I mean, I think honestly, Stingray, I think at this point they had the mess last time around, but I think what people were doing, they weren't going to the live feed. They were going to the preview on the main page on Shudder, clicking on it like it was a, just another selection from the movies. Whereas you have to go to the, Shudder TV section of the app. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people weren't doing that. And they were like, well, I'm getting the preview. Well, yeah, that's all you're getting because that's all that's there. You have to go, you know what I mean? Like, whereas last time it was genuinely just messed all up. Mm-hmm. But, it was smooth. I mean, I don't have super slow internet, but I don't have the fastest in the world either.
Yeah. Well, it probably wouldn't be on your end if there was a problem, but
that's true.
I think what they did was they offered, a free month to everyone, or a free week, whatever it was. So everyone signed up for that free week, and they've got all this, tons of traffic coming in that wouldn't normally be on the channel. So I think that's another reason it kind of messed it up to begin with. But yeah, I kind of left a bad taste in my mouth the last time. So,
what about you? What about you, Lauren?
I really haven't seen anything new. I've been revisiting some things I love, a lot of 70s blaxploitation films, that sort of thing.
Ah,
Yeah, I look at this time of the year really at the post Halloween until about mid February, and not a lot of genre films come out, and not a lot of films that are just offbeat. This is traditionally was always a dumping ground, except for your Oscar bait and your feel good holiday movies, which is not where I'm at all.
mm.
So this is kind of a quieter time. It's better to go back a couple decades, check out stuff that was made at a much simpler time. I don't know. I like the simple thrills.
I understand. Has anybody got into the holiday horror mood? Anybody watched any of the classics, Black Christmas, Christmas Evil, Silent Night, Deadly Night, anything like that yet?
Not yet. I've watched some of the newer stuff. There's so much new horror movies out there, horror Christmas
Mm-hmm.
films out there. I saw Mercy Christmas the other day,
Oh, I saw that.
and it was okay.
I saw that. There's a new one that Adam Marcus did called Secret Santa. I kind of want to check it out. But yeah, you're right. It seems like the past couple of years, this time of year, there's been a ton of like, holiday horror movies. And this year there's a lot.
Yeah, I was trying to find that one by Adam Marcus. I couldn't find it to watch anywhere.
I think it's just now hit streaming.
Okay.
I think. I'm not 100% sure. I know it's either available now or it's going to be available very, very soon.
Yeah, that one sounds good. It's like a horror comedy, right? That he did.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually watched Christmas Evil a couple of weeks ago with my girlfriend, and I'd been intending to popped in Silent Night, Deadly Night, the Scream Factory Blu-ray the other day, but then I was like, well, let's just watch the making of. So like I watched the making of, and I was like, all right, I'm done. I didn't want to watch the movie then. I was like, just watch the making of. But yeah, I need to get into, need to whip out Black Christmas and, some of the classics to really, make it feel like the holidays. It's not the holidays until, you know what I mean, I see the chick get smothered to death in the bag. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That really just says happy birthday, Jesus. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I've already watched Christmas Vacation twice this year, so I'm getting started earlier than usual.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
There's a great film from the Netherlands called Saint. Which if you haven't seen that's fun. It's trash, but it's a lot of fun trash.
Yeah.
And it couldn't be made in America for a whole lot of reasons. There's characters in blackface. There's dildos given as gifts. It's an insane film.
It's really good.
Yeah, I saw it either last Christmas or the Christmas before last. I don't remember, but yeah, I liked it. Have you guys seen Rare Exports?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that one quite a bit. And then I mentioned I did a review of this one a couple of years ago. What's it? A Christmas Horror Story, I think, with like William Shatner and stuff. Was really surprised by that.
Yeah, that's become like a yearly one for me. I'm going to watch that one every year. I love that movie.
Yeah, really like that movie. Really fun movie. Yeah. So, anything else you guys been into, or anything notable? Any big Black Friday deals you guys were able to take advantage of?
I thought you were going to say another word after Big Black.
Only you, Orc. Only.
Oh, yeah, I got some BBC deals. They're pretty good.
Too much time on that Chromebook, I
think. On Orc's brand new Chromebook he got over Black Friday.
Yeah. I got a few memes, I didn't actually get that many movies. I don't know. It's been like the 4K Ultra HD titles that everyone was like, "Fuck no, man, I'm not getting that shit." They were reasonably priced at $9. But the $2 DVD selection and the $4 $2 DVD and then the $4 Blu-ray selections the DVD selection was good, but the Blu-ray selection sucked ass this year, at least at Walmart. I didn't go to Best Buy or Target. They're kind of too far away from me. But yeah, there was some good shit for like $2, like the first Creed, Casablanca, Gone with the Wind, bunch of shit like that. But yeah, it was pretty fun. That was actually my first time like going late at night to Black Friday, and I've never smelt as much weed as that night walking around there with my mom and as like an Ozzy Osbourne concert, like back when back in New Jersey where the Devils play. That's like how much it smelled like weed. But, yeah.
Anybody
But
else?
last thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Last thing was Creed 2. People overreact. Like we were kind of split with how we felt about the new Halloween movie, but Creed 2, like if you're a fan of the Rocky franchise or especially Rocky 4, fuck whatever you're doing tomorrow. Or if you have work, go right after work and watch Creed 2. Holy shit! You want to talk about a good movie that's really well made, well written, well directed, and that has a great just I don't know, a great. It's just people who you think wouldn't be in it because Stallone is at the helm, and they are. And it's like if you thought the first Creed was okay and passable, the second one is like 9 out of 10 compared to the first one. I'd say, like it's that good. Overall, I'd probably give it like a 7, maybe 6.5 if I was being honest. But yeah.
Okay. Anybody else getting any good deals on Black Friday?
Got a cell phone case for $12 and a multi-pack of tampons for $4.
That's a good deal
man.
on tampons.
Nailed it.
That's
Nailed
a good deal on tampons.
Still using them.
Yeah, I'm always digging for gold, so I have to plug my nose. So I mean, yeah, Tampax pearls are like my right or one of my hand man.
Well, maybe he's hunting because a lot of hunters buy tampons. They soak them in the deer urine and they hang them in trees.
Yeah.
Maybe he's
Yeah,
hunting.
Isn't that
That's
also
what
a
it
butt
is.
chug thing? Don't they soak them in vodka and keystrom?
Now that's my use. Thanks, Stingray.
Got it.
But when a lot of people say they're going hunting for movies like Cinema Sickness, I don't really know if it's like tampons or candy canes or DVDs. Like I don't know what they're looking for exactly half the time. But we find out when we click on that video. Risky click. That's what we call a risky click.
That's a risky
2018
click.
boys.
That's a risky click. That is
Risky
indeed.
click.
Honestly, I didn't see any really good deals on much this Black Friday. Nothing that really interested me, to be honest. I think I bought a couple of things that weren't even, Blu-ray or movie related. But I really didn't see a whole lot. And, I'm too old for the real life Black Friday experience. Those days are behind me. So, but, yeah, I don't know. Let's see what's going on out in the chat tonight. Joe Bob Tar here wants to know why we're talking about tampons. I'll tell you why we're talking about tampons, Joe Bob, because you never know what you're going to get when you turn into an episode of the Sausage Factory. That's what it's about. So we got Joe Bob with us tonight. We got PlayStation 9 with us tonight. We've got Seben Segal, Rocky Voorhees, Joe Caraluzzo. What's up, Joe? How are you? PlayStation 9 wants to know, Jay, can you make raptors out of turkey eggs? Do you know what that means?
Raptors?
Raptors out of turkey eggs.
No, but I'd like to know. Sounds like something I'd like to try.
Gotta be a trap.
It must be. Let's see. What's everybody watching these days? Joe Bob's watching Rick and Morty. Movie Man 95 has been trying to watch mostly Christmas stuff. Joe Caraluzzo says, what's up, Orc? Josh O'Brien's with us tonight. How you doing, Josh? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you guys out there are all having a good holiday season. Roland 666, the trailer for the new Jordan Peele horror movie drops on Christmas. Okay, cool. Have to keep an eye out for that. Joe Caraluzzo got the new Maximum Overdrive DVD. Did you get it on DVD or Blu-ray, Joe?
Can't believe they even put it out on DVD.
I don't know. Yeah. They may have. I don't remember. But we'll get to talking about our favorite DVD and Blu-ray releases here pretty soon. So, you got it on Blu-ray, Joe. Okay, good. That's a good release. We may discuss that release later in the show. We'll see. Well, the topic of tonight's show is our favorite movies of 2018, our favorite Blu-ray releases of 2018. You guys share with us what some of your favorite movie and Blu-ray releases of 2018 were or are in the comment section or in the chat. Let's see who'd like to go first tonight. Stingray, what's up, man? What were some of your favorite movies of 2018?
Oh, geez. That is a toughie. Yeah, not quite as good as 17, I don't think, but still trying to watch a lot of this stuff. I still need to see Venom. Just trying to pull up. I have a list here that I was obviously not prepared for, but here we go. A Quiet Place was one of my favorite horror films of the year. And let's see. I don't know. I guess I can name a few more. I don't want to take anybody else's off the list, but
go ahead.
Deadpool 2, I was a big fan of.
Mm.
And this year seemed like drenched with comic book movies, but I think that one kind of stood out a little bit. And the sequel to Sicario, Day of the Dead, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that came and went from theaters really quickly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I really wanted to see that because I liked the first Sicario quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
but it came and went super quick.
I think it might actually be better than the first film, but stars Josh Brolin, Benicio del Toro, and good stuff.
Now, I know you saw Annihilation. I heard a lot of good things about Annihilation. Is that one that close to your list, or?
Yeah, it's on my list, but it's not for everyone. That's for sure. It's definitely a thinker.
Okay.
It's one I probably need to watch like a few more times to fully understand what all happened. But
well, two of your picks were definitely on my list. I've still not watched A Quiet Place.
Wow.
Yeah, I've just never gotten around to it. Like I've had it to, ready to watch a couple of times, and just something happens and I don't watch it. I was even planning on watching it before this show, but just never got the opportunity to watch it.
I would think you'd like it.
Yeah, I'm sure I would. Yeah.
John Krasinski directs, I think. So I was kind of, on the fence about that to begin with. But
he wrote and directed it. So I mean, he's talented guy. Wrote, directed, stars, and I hear he's working on the sequel already. So I mean,
cool,
talented guy, man. Talented guy. All right, cool. Andrew, what were some of your favorite movies of 2018?
Oh man, I'm kind of going to be a little dull here because I don't know. Maybe it was just I didn't seek out enough, but I didn't see a lot this year in theaters. Mm-hmm. I spent a lot of time watching stuff I've already seen over and over again, or stuff I hadn't seen but isn't a 2018 release. So basically, all I'm going to say is stuff that everybody and their brother's seen. But I did see the new Avengers, and I did see Solo, and I saw the Mr. Rogers documentary, which I felt was really good.
Oh yeah.
But about Solo and Avengers disappointed me. I had fun with Solo. I mean, I don't, I thought I would hate Solo because my son's name is Harrison. Like that character's just the bee's knees to me. But I had a good time with it. The Chewie Han Solo thing there worked pretty well for me. Was there some, garbage parts of it? Sure. But I was a little, I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of fatigued with the superhero thing like so many people seem to be getting to now. But Avengers, to me, like my sister was really involved in the characters and everything going on at the end of the movie. I mean, I'm sure most of us here have probably seen it, but it's hard for me to feel any weight to the loss of characters when they're not going to be lost forever or even for half of a cycle before the next one comes out. And everybody's acting like they're so emotionally involved in all this stuff. I'm like, I don't, that superheroes, it's hard to draw really good lines and rules up for because it's every bit as bad as a soap opera in that way. And that's not to say I don't like these characters, but the cook that's banging the rich dude's wife on the soap opera gets killed and then comes back 2 seasons later and they just kind of explain it off in some dumb way. It's the same thing they do in these superhero movies. Like if they want to bring them back, they bring them back, and so nothing has any weight, But really, I mean, I know it's kind of a lame show for me to be on if that's all I've seen in 2018, but that's kind of it, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, Stingray even said, that he thought 2017 was a stronger year for movies than 2018. I definitely think I saw more movies at the theater last year than this year. Even movies that I kind of wanted to watch in theaters, I was like, I'll just wait. So, I mean, I don't know. And I totally agree with what you're saying about comic book movies. Just the oversaturation of them, number one, and number two, it's like how, like I heard people, oh man, this guy died or that character died in Infinity War. And I'm like, really? Because that they're making, part 2 of his movie right now, right? So I mean,
That's what I was going to say. Spider-Man's got a movie coming out sometime soon, so
yeah.
I mean,
I think everybody pretty much knows the ending. So
yeah, it's like I know the I know what's her name died, but they're doing part 3 of that one series right now, right? So I mean, it's like they're dead, but they're not really dead. You know what I mean? Or like you said, so it doesn't really put any. There's no threat. There's no threat there.
No,
really.
no, and there's opportunity for some of it to make sense if or to effectively do something for an audience, if they would just allow it to happen. But it's all too much of a business machine now to where you don't fall in love with somebody enough to care when they're gone, or at least I don't. I mean, Steve Rogers would be a great character to see, put to death on the battlefield, so to speak, and care about, but they haven't built him that way. I mean, he's invincible. And the way that they'll get rid of him won't matter to me when they finally do, because they've had so many opportunities. I don't know. I mean, that may be the one area where I'm not a super nitpicky movie watcher, but superhero movies, I get to the point where the suspension of disbelief, like I'm okay to go along for a ride. I mean, I'll give you a good example of a trailer I saw, and you guys may laugh at this, but I am so happy that this Detective Pikachu movie is literally just putting fuzzy ass weird animals into a regular world, because at least they're just going for it. And the movie may still be terrible. It may very well be awful. That's a good possibility. But I'm kind of to the point now where I almost want a little bit more ridiculous in my superhero. Like the Burton Batman movies, you love them, you hate them, but they're fun, they're out there, and as ridiculous as it is, you're along for the ride and kind of buy into it. That Detective Pikachu thing looks to be the same type of deal where, I mean, how do you put these cartoon characters into a real world without it being just completely stupid looking? Just do it. Just do the stupid thing. Whereas I think they're trying to get these superheroes to play in a real world, so to speak. And it to me, it's just not, I'm not along for the ride anymore. I don't know. I mean, there are so many good ones that I thought I'd like. I thought I'd want to see Ant-Man and Wasp, and that may have been a great movie, but I didn't really have the desire to go sit in the theater for a couple hours for it, or 2.5 hours or whatever the runtime was. I don't know, man. I hate to say it because so many people love them, and I'm not for taking people's jollies away, but I don't think I'd be sad to see these movies go away for a while.
Right. Well, you mentioned Solo, and I had a good time with Solo too. I mean, I think it had so much to live up to, being the Han Solo origin story, and was it necessary? Whatever, it happened. Yeah. as just a movie, it was a fun movie. I can't think of really anything wrong with it. But once you cross that line into, it's a Star Wars movie, it's a Han Solo origin story movie, then you have all these expectations.
Yeah.
And Solo was the movie that Disney kind of went, okay, wait a minute, maybe we're putting these out too often, maybe we're oversaturating. I'm wondering when that's going to happen for Marvel, and they go, okay, let's slow these down a little bit. And I wonder if Captain Marvel is going to be that movie for them, where that happens.
Captain Marvel's dangerous because she fits into a Superman-like category, where Superman, it has been mostly missed for a lot of fans because of how Superman is, to where there's really no drama to be had in the story. He's an unstoppable force, and there's no intrigue there. And I feel like Captain Marvel could really toe on that dangerous line of nobody's vulnerable unless we decide it is, and then you can shoot holes through every plot we put out there, because why should I believe this when you just did that? And why should I believe that when you just did this? And none of it just, I just feel like it gets too wrapped up in rules that they make up on the fly. There's only one thing that can harm Superman, unless we decide,
Right.
in this one case, this could also cause him a problem too. It just gets too far out there. And you're right. I mean, Solo, was that a story that needed to be told? I was a little leery of it because that backstory didn't really need to be told.
No.
And even with the movie being made, it still really doesn't need to exist. But I mean, there's a whole other point out there that I kind of agree with. Their offshoots have been better than their numbered franchise movies. I mean, I was okay with 7, and 8 kind of lost me like it did a lot of people. But I really feel like Rogue One and Solo have been the 2 better movies, and as far as being fun, they were both fun movies to watch. And then I feel like, Marvel doesn't have those offshoots anymore. They're just individual superheroes and then superhero team up movies now. And I don't know, there's just not, unless you talk about like Paul Rudd being funny in the Ant-Man movies, there's really not a lot else to see.
Right. Yeah.
Solo is kind of like I was watching it. I was like, there's so many more things I'd love to see in this universe right now than this guy trying to play, Harrison Ford. I like the Woody Harrelson stuff. I like this character a lot. The girl from Game of Thrones, I thought her character was pretty terrible, but I don't know. I don't like when they get known actors and put them into the Star Wars universe. It really takes me out of it. Like
Right.
when they had Laura Dern and the whatever the last one.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh fuck, that's Laura Dern. That's
Yeah.
with purple hair.
Yeah. Whenever I see Laura Dern, I either think of her in Jurassic Park, or I'll think like way back to her in like Wild at Heart, which is like a weird, because I mean Wild at Heart, she's way out there, and of course Jurassic Park, she's very normal and straight. But like I can't, whenever I see her, I think of either one of those movies. So, but yeah, the purple hair of Laura Dern in that movie. I mean, come on, take it all the way. Give her a lip stud. You know what I mean? Maybe a brow ring or something too. Why not?
Yeah, make her an alien or some shit. Put some makeup all over her. Give her a big forehead.
Not to take it like a boxing analogy, but which thing can take the most punches before it finally falls down? Video games is a good example. Like there's Call of Duty and then there's Battlefield, and like I feel like Call of Duty can take a few shots before it hits the mat just because of how massively popular it has been, even though there are detractors, obviously, and there have been crap games in the franchise, but it could take a few more shots before it hits the mat. And like Battlefield had one dumpy game that just came out, and it's almost like that franchise is just like, it's done almost. There'll be more, but when you look at Marvel versus the Star Wars thing, because of the baggage that Star Wars brings, I feel like Marvel has the opportunity to make a couple more crap shows before it hits the mat, but Star Wars can't take any more shots. I mean, I feel like they're losing their core faster than Marvel. I mean, Marvel, could you even really say they've lost any of their core fans? And, I feel like Star Wars I don't think it can take too many more of these hits before it falls down to done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Marvel, they're like batting 1,000. I mean, every movie they make is, it makes an enormous amount of money. Even some of the ones that are like, oh, it was okay, but it still made a ton of money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if, like the Captain Marvel movie can still make a ton of money, but if it underperforms, you know what I mean? Maybe they'll go, okay, wait, because Captain Marvel is supposed to be the lead in to the last, the last Avengers movie, which is supposed to be, an enormous, what's the word I'm thinking of here?
Blockbuster.
An event film. It's supposed to be like the big event film, you know what I mean, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, in these films, I mean, they do gangbusters like over in China, so that's like, I mean, they don't really care about the American audience anymore because it's not enough money to even justify spending they spend almost $1 billion to make $1 billion, or
so
whatever the hell it is. It's crazy numbers, but I mean, it's oversaturation on both cases, but I think Star Wars is a more contained thing. and as far as Marvel goes, they've got tons of stuff to pull from. But I don't know. It's just too much. It's too much for me on both fronts.
I agree. And I agree with what Andrew said too. I mean, Star Wars had their stumble with Solo. They can't afford another one. Or with Solo and with Last Jedi.
I think Solo underperformed largely, not because it was a great movie again. I mean, but I think Episode 8 left such a bad taste in everyone's mouth.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, now we're going to follow it up with a Han Solo origin story. I mean, come on.
And it was production problems from the beginning too. They switched directors, and everyone knew that, so they weren't exactly. That's another reason why it cost like twice as much as it was supposed to cost.
But yeah, I'm really interested to see what they do with this new Star Wars, because it seems like they've got a lot of. I mean, they got a lot to deal with. You know what I mean? They've got to. I don't know. It's tricky.
I think really where the Star Wars problem is at the moment is actually it's a story problem more than anything else. When you think back to the original trilogy, it was very clearly designed as a war film. So the end game for the third film needed to be one side or the other loses.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was very clear when you got to Return of the Jedi that the final Death Star had to have all the main characters on it that needed to die to end this conflict. When you think of the new trilogy, what does that resolution look like? Because at this point, we don't have anything that would turn the tide definitively, because it's so open-ended, but yet it's so based on these two characters. We could end that dynamic of those two characters, but the big struggle it's really nebulous. You can't really figure out exactly how that resolves. So the audience really doesn't know where they are in the timeline. And I just feel like the stakes are in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Marvel have the opposite problem. Their stakes are so specific to every film that it's become formula. And while they do that formula really, really, really well, I like this year's Avengers film. I didn't have a problem with it simply because I get it. I get where the stakes are. It's pretty obvious characters will be back if there's money to be made. I don't let that bother me. I just look at what is actually on screen. But their issue is that they're just kind of, when you look at the trailer for Captain Marvel, you see the outlines of films they've already made. They'll do it really well. It'll make a lot of money. The gravy train will probably keep rolling. But I'd like to see them take a really big chance, which obviously they're not going to.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're really going to push the female superhero aspect like they did with Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Also, even though there's plenty of female superheroes in the Marvel universe already.
Mm-hmm.
Them picking Brie Larson and I don't know. It's not something I'm concerned to watch. I'll check it out on TNT or something.
Yeah. Well, and I mean we're already seeing it long before the movie's going to be released, where if there's any negativity toward the trailer or toward Brie Larson in the trailer, it's immediately oh well, you hate women, you're a sexist then, right? You know what I mean? It's like, no, it just doesn't look very good. Oh well, you hate women. No. So that's already starting, and we're months away from that movie premiering. So I mean, the same, maybe not to the same extent as like the Ghostbusters, the controversy over that, where, oh well, you don't want to see it, well then you must hate women. But it's already brewing with Captain Marvel. If you don't like it, then it's not because the movie's not good; it's because you hate women.
But you remember when Wonder Woman came out, they had screenings that men weren't allowed to attend and stuff like that. Like it just seems a bit much to me. Yeah.
Well, but Wonder Woman was good. I don't remember any.
Right.
I don't remember any. I don't remember any of that surrounding the Wonder Woman movie. Oh, if you don't like it, you hate women.
Because people liked it. I think
exactly because people liked it. But if you didn't like Ghostbusters, and I think if you don't like Captain Marvel, then you're going to be branded as some sort of misogynist pig woman hater. You know what I mean?
But I think too, though, you got to be careful there because there's private screenings for groups that happen across the board with a lot of films. All those Christian exploitation films that come out every year, there's private church groups that get screenings of those. they don't get the press saying, well, they excluded everyone else. Whereas in the case of Wonder Woman, you got that news story, which was definitely not exactly fair.
Yeah, I agree with you. But the difference is, though, people wanted to see Wonder Woman. Nobody wants to see God's Not Dead Part 2.
Right.
Hey,
You know,
Kirk Cameron is a busy man.
Right.
Figuring out the dynamics of a banana.
Yeah. But you're right, though. I mean, yeah, it happens all the time. But that was just so.
Those church groups, they buy out the whole theater. That's how they're able to do it. You know,
Oh,
so
no.
it's
Well,
not
it's a partnership between the distribution companies.
Mm-hmm.
They court them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely. It's
that's
part of the business strategy.
That's a big thing around where I live. They're all about that stuff.
Yeah. Same thing around here. I remember when Passion of the Christ was coming out, the churches would literally buy out the theater and then like drive around to the poor neighborhoods and try and, you know, get as many kids into the van as possible to take them to this movie, thinking that 2 hours or however long it was of watching this man get tortured to death was going to bring them to the Lord. You know what I mean? So they thought that that movie was like an event film that was going to, turn people to become religious. But I mean, literally, they would buy out the theater, take the vans into mostly the poor neighborhoods, because I was there. I didn't see them in the richer neighborhoods, but they were in the poor neighborhoods trying to round up people. Come jump in the van. Let's go watch the movie for free. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Oh, goodness. What's the show about tonight?
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. Okay. Let's see. Let me tell you, my favorite Mel Gibson anti-Semitic rant. It's when he got pulled over by the cop. And no, that's actually not the best one. There's a lot of good ones.
Go check out his drunk answering machine messages to his ex-wife.
That is,
those are pretty awesome.
That's priceless. That's priceless. I cannot wait for. Is he still directing the Suicide Squad sequel? Is that still happening?
The movie's happening. I don't think he's involved.
Oh, okay.
Mel Gibson?
Pizzle, you better watch what you're saying, man, because I'll trash your fucking lights, mate. I'll trash your fucking lights. This guy over here. No! Shut the fuck up. Fucking amateur. You walking over here on set. Fuck this guy. I'll trash your fucking lights, mate. Fuck you.
You sound just.
I forgot how the rest goes.
Bale. Yeah, you sound just like Bale. Let me tell you, Bale's transformation into.
Am I frozen?
Damn, he just got bailed out. Shit.
That bailout remix. No, see, he runs the internet. He's not having it.
Oh, it's fucking distracting. No, get off the set now.
We're done professionally.
You and me, we're done. We're done. No, fucking around on set. Oh, look at me. No, it's okay. I'm done.
The red was better than the Terminator film. It was they were shooting.
Exactly.
Yes. I can't wait to see Bale as Dick Cheney. Can't wait to see Bale as Dick
Cheney. That's the last movie I'm looking forward to.
He does. I'm telling you, Bale is going to win an Oscar for that. Steve Carell's going to win. Steve Carell's got to win an Oscar for something this year. He's in how many Oscar bait movies this year? He's got to win something.
I cannot wait to see Vice because I'm pissed because I was going to see The Mule because that's one that kind of flew under the radar for me, but my theater didn't get it. I fucking looked up showtimes and I was like, fuck, god damn it, they don't have it. So I'm just waiting on Vice, but Amy Adams, fucking Christian Bale, who's the guy? Sam Rockwell. They all look like they did an amazing job. Yeah.
Yeah. That looks like it'd be a fun movie.
Sam Rockwell does a great W too.
Yeah.
I just love when they're sitting. He's like I can't do the Cheney face, but he's like, you know, George, I got a lot of.
That's pretty close.
I got a lot of things on my hands. I got Halliburton. I got a lot of money and a lot of businesses going. And George Bush is just eating a sandwich. He's like, yeah, no shit. That sounds pretty good. He's like, well, if you let me run everything and really be the president, I think we might have a deal here.
And That's exactly
No
how it
shit.
had to go down. You know, Cheney was like, this guy's such a rube. I'm gonna play him. I'm gonna profit like nobody's business. We're going to war, baby. So
But I mean, it's like Daniel Day-Lewis. I haven't seen all of his movies. I've only seen half, but he's like my favorite actor in terms of like method acting and being like a great performer, and you know, at least in my opinion, anyway. But method acting, the way Bale does it from that movie where he's basically like bulimic, or like, I mean anorexic, and then like he goes to Cheney where he's just fat as fuck and just gets fat for the role. Like that's, I mean, he could trash my lights any day he wants. I got lamps everywhere, dude.
Oscar
I'm a-
voters love that. If you do a physical transformation for a role, they love that. They love that. Or if you play someone who's intellectually handicapped, they love that too. Or if you gained a bunch of weight and then like Brad Pitt should just gain like 250 pounds and play a mentally handicapped man. He'd win an Oscar. You want your Oscar? That's how you do it.
I would watch that movie. Hope he never loses it.
James Gunn is apparently writing and directing Suicide Squad 2.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, that movie was terrible, so maybe the second one will be worth something.
I'll see. We shall see. Let's see. Lauren, what were some of your favorite movies of 2018?
So I broke my list down into two parts. There's the loved list and the liked list. This was actually a good year for me. So I loved Hereditary. I loved Bad Times at El Royale, which got a wide release, but no one went to see. I loved a Indian film called Race 3, which is a horrible film, but it is probably the most fun you'll have in a theater. Everything is turned up to about 15. None of it makes any sense. It's ultra masculine. It thinks it's a Fast and Furious ripoff, but it's none of the above. It's wonderfully awful. I recommend it. It is available on Amazon Prime.
Cool.
Obviously, my favorite film of the year was Hellfest, but I'm not going to ride that train tonight. I liked a lot of films. I liked Venom. I liked the Mission Impossible film. I liked The Meg. I liked The Quiet Place. I liked a little film called The Clove Hitch Killer, which is more of a psychological thriller, but is really, really solid and has a great final act. I liked Upgrade, which no one seems to talk about anymore, but it was this year. And another Indian film, which is another actually trashy Indian film called Mohini, which is their attempt at a action-oriented possession film, and is every bit as funny and frankly unfocused as a film could be. But I just had a ball with it. So I mean, that's actually a lot of good on the ledger this year, more than I usually get, and a lot of it's very mainstream, which is the big surprise.
Well, the one was the Clove Hitch Killer. Is that right?
Yes. Dylan McDermott is in it. It's a film about a kid who thinks his dad might be a serial killer.
Oh.
It's on my list.
Oh, just do it. And you don't have to worry about anyone spoiling the film for you, because it's not really about the plot as much as it's about tying a really crazy idea to stuff that we all experience at that age. It's a great film. I'd say check it out. It doesn't make it into the loved category because it's a smaller film and its ambitions are much lower, perhaps, but it's very, very solid. I mean, I guess I'd put the Avengers film in the like category too, and even though everyone else here seems to not like it.
No, I was kind of, I was about middle of the road on it. I didn't have a problem with it.
I've not seen it. I've not seen a Marvel movie that I didn't like. It's just that I've seen way too many Marvel movies, but I've only seen half of the Marvel movies that are out there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but don't you think it's kind of like people who kind of like horror films about in '82 probably felt like slashers were everywhere and they just wanted the whole thing to end?
Yeah.
They just wanted them off stage because it was annoying to them, but the fans were like loving it and know that it wasn't going to go forever. I think Marvel's in the same place. The superhero thing will probably be with us for all time now. I don't think it's going to completely disappear. But yeah, I mean, are we going to be in a position where we get 6 of them in a year theatrically in 5 years? No, probably not.
Yeah.
Technology finally caught up to those movies too, I think, a little bit, where a lot of what they were doing on the page could not be replicated in any way, shape, or form on the screen, and now they actually can. So you can kind of make the comic book come to life. Yeah, I don't want to totally be a hater on superhero movies. I have had a ton of fun with them over the years in the movie theater. But and even the new Avengers film did have some really great scenes in it. It just the emotional impact that like my sister was feeling in the theater, I was just kind of looking over thinking,
Yeah.
what? I don't feel this. But again,
What age group is your sister in?
She was born in '87 and I was born in '83. So she's 31 and I'm 35. So not that far a difference, but
no.
I mean, still. But then again, too, I mean, she is obviously a different individual too. I mean, and she is all in on superheroes. I mean, like she's a comic diehard now. Like even before the movies became really big, she started getting really big into reading the books and stuff, which I don't. So I mean, the experience for her is a totally different thing, I think.
Yeah, and if these lead people back to reading in some form, I have to be positive towards them, to be honest.
Right. Well, and you mentioned Venom. Wasn't Venom on your list too, Andrew?
It actually wasn't. I didn't see that. I was interested in that one though, just because the look of the Venom character is so cool to me. Like the big one off my list was the Fred Rogers one, to be honest with you, just because of what I do for a living and how impactful I feel like that man was. Not to completely deviate this conversation. I mean, was it a kind of a run of the mill documentary? Absolutely. There was nothing that I didn't know about Mr. Rogers already, but it's just nice hearing it out loud, hearing recordings of him that I never heard before. That was a totally different experience for him. But as far as the other two movies, though, I wanted to see Venom just because the character looks so cool. But I didn't bite the bullet.
It might have been Stingray who said that he liked Venom. I don't recall. But no, I did really like the Fred Rogers documentary. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I can definitely. I'm right there. I was actually going to put it on my list, and I just totally forgot to add it to my list. But I really liked the Fred Rogers documentary too. Monty, what's up, man? What's going on, man?
Oh man, I was having some extreme technical difficulties, but I actually made it before the century ended.
Well, good, man. Glad to have you with us. What's up? How you been?
Hey, I'm all right, fellas. How's everybody doing?
Good.
We're doing good. We're hanging out.
What did I miss? Cliff Notes version.
We're just talking about some of our favorite movies of 2018. We're probably about halfway through the list, so we've definitely got plenty of time. So,
well, you guys can continue, or you want me to jump in?
I'll holler at you here in a minute. Jump right in.
All right.
But yeah, Venom. I actually checked out Venom the other day, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. You could kind of tell that they'd kind of watered it down a little bit to keep that PG-13 rating.
I guess you have to, right?
Yeah, I guess. But it was funny though, because like it's really violent and a lot of people die in it, but like there's not a drop of blood. You know what I mean? There's like people's heads getting bitten off, people getting run through with sharp objects, people getting taken down left and right, and like they just don't bleed. Nobody bleeds, no blood. So. But I dug it. I really don't see. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore Venom fan. I think a lot of the reason why a lot of the hardcore Venom fans didn't like it was because it wasn't R-rated. You know what I mean? He wasn't. He wasn't allowed to roam the same way that Deadpool was.
That's kind of one of the reasons that I've avoided the film. Is I am a hardcore Venom fan. He's like my favorite villain of all comics. So I've. I just kind of hold it up to a little bit of a higher, bar than some of the others. So, but I love Tom Hardy, and I'm just kind of afraid of all the CG. And
it's really, I mean, Tom Hardy is good. They still get away with a lot. I think they traded, it was like, okay, we'll let you have some extra expletives, but no blood, and you'll keep the PG-13. So they're like, cool. So they got to keep some language, no blood, keep that PG-13.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. You should check it out.
Show all the violence and death you want. Just don't show any nudity.
Exactly. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. You should check it out. Go into it with an open mind. You'll probably dig it.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, you'll probably dig it. So Lauren, great list from Lauren. I'll definitely have to check out the Clovitch Killer because I think I scrolled over it the other day on Amazon Prime. So I'll definitely have to check it out for sure. Orc, Captain Adderall. What are some of your favorite movies of 2018?
I'm using a touch fat pad real quick, so hang on, hold that thought.
Zip up.
My kind of the testing to see if if my ass would hemorrhage to death was like Venom. That was my test screening. So I survived that, and then I saw the only movies I caught in theater this year were Venom, Creed 2, Overlord, and Halloween. So, and I liked all those. Those are all pretty amazing for Venom was great for a PG-13. Overlord, no one really talks about, kind of like with Hellfest with what Lauren what Lauren was saying. And then Halloween I liked for the most part, and then Creed 2 is probably my favorite, and I'm really pumped for Rambo 5. I mean, Stallone's like 95 and he's still just fucking cranking out movie after movie. So, but then earlier in the year, some like straight to VOD like movies I watched. Leatherface was god awful. The latest Hellraiser was, I kind of liked the latest Hellraiser. It was pretty decent. Judgment.
I did too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. What it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
That's another one. Walk into it with an open mind. I think you'll be surprised.
Yeah, but yeah, the new Hellraiser was good. The latest TCM was garbage, just complete dog shit. And then there was another movie I had that I was thinking about. Oh, and the new Tremors wasn't actually half bad, but that's just because I'm a diehard Tremors fan. Tremors fan, I mean. But
That's not good. I love
it's not
Tremors.
good. It's if it has Jamie Kennedy, it's still at least better than the beginning, Part 4. Because that's the biggest pile of dog shit I've ever seen. People say like Troll 2 is the worst movie. No, it's Tremors, the beginning, or whatever the fuck it's called, when Bert's like, hey, we're right here in the way, like, no, it's so stupid. Tremors 4 makes me want to kill myself from time to time, but I try and take my meds on time and then ease on through the day. But that's really all I saw this year. And happy holidays, guys. Oh, look, it's Mr. C.
Hey, Cameron, what's up, man? You've got the little one with you. What's up, man?
I do. I have the microphone on mute because he just started teething, and I don't want him to be taking over the podcast. So
the Instagram sensation has graced us with his presence.
He has more followers than I do. So yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to come on at least for a little bit and say hi to everybody. So.
Oh, how's it going, man? How you been?
Oh, doing well. Getting ready for the holidays and all that nonsense. So, yeah, doing well. What have we talked about? What have we been talking about so far tonight?
We've been talking about our favorite movies of 2018. Orc just gave us his list.
I haven't seen a lot in the theaters, as you can imagine. I did see Halloween, and we've already talked about that. My favorite Blu-ray release of the year is Dennis Hopper's The Last Movie. This is the insane film he made right after Easy Rider. This thing was so hard to come by before, like kind of like El Topo and The Holy Mountain, all that stuff. This is a movie in which he got all his actor buddies to go to Peru. They were entirely on cocaine the entire time, and amongst other things. It's about an American actor who's kidnapped by a tribe in Peru and forced to recreate a Western movie, and they use bamboo sticks as a camera. And as you can imagine, it makes no sense whatsoever. Alejandro Jodorowsky got a hold of this and made his own edit of the film, so that's what we have here.
Awesome.
And it's filled with tons of bonus features. And then also, if you get, I think it's called The American Dreamer, which is a documentary about Dennis Hopper having orgies in his house while editing this movie. So yeah,
I was getting ready to mention that The American Dreamer is about like the making of that movie. I've seen the documentary, but I've not seen the movie.
Well, this is less than $20. So if you're a fan of just crazy ass movies, this is one to have in your collection. So.
Cool.
Was that never put out before?
Never. No, it just came out last month.
Wow. Yeah, I need to see that for sure.
And I'm really bummed that they never got Dennis Hopper to record a commentary, at least until eventually it would come out, right? And so it's a shame that we don't have his thoughts on it. So
Yeah,
Rest in peace, sir.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh man, I can only imagine.
We'll definitely have to look into that one. Yeah, definitely look into that one.
yeah, that might actually not be a bad future Sausage Factory show. The directorial films of Dennis Hopper, from Easy Rider through Colors and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I
hey,
forgot he did Colors.
yeah. Easy
I
Rider's
like,
good.
I like Colors. Yeah.
Colors is good. Yeah, yeah.
What was the one he did with the girl that was a big fan of Elvis?
That's Out of the Blue.
Yeah, that was a good
That-
one.
That's a crazy movie.
Is
Yeah.
the Hot Spot good with Don Johnson? And
Yeah,
Virginia Madsen.
yeah. Jennifer Connelly's naked in it.
Oh yes.
That right there is worth. That right there is the price of the $14.95 Blu-ray that comes double feature with a Heather Graham nudie flick as well. So
Oh my God.
yeah.
Wow. Orc is about to jump through the computer screen. You know what I mean? He's hyped. We know what to get Orc for Christmas now. Put that on your Amazon wish list.
Or did you see that Kentucky Fried Chicken has a log that you can burn in your fireplace and it will make your whole house smell like fried chicken?
Did I see that? No, but now I know, and I'll add that to my my Amazon wish list. I have a new Paddock watch, a Paddock watch looking Little Uzi song, and they're only like $150,000. So I'm gonna get one of those from Switzerland. So I got Mad Bank.
Okay.
So I apologize for doing this, but Mr. C probably doesn't really know what that means yet. So hopefully he doesn't. But I know he's gonna be smart because he probably takes after his dad. Anyways, but my quick question to you was the Wild at Heart Blu-ray that Scream Factory released, or Shout Factory, whatever, Shout
Yes.
Select Meatballs, whatever the fuck they call them now. Did you like the release?
Yes. The they released it. They postponed the release for a while, and Amazon took everybody's pre-orders and just sent it to them anyway because they didn't want everyone to cancel. And all it was like a less than half of a second dip in sound quality. Like you couldn't even really hear it, but whatever. They sent out, if one thing Scream Factory, I know people get all pissy with them because they do replacement discs and all that stuff, but they're so fast in their turnaround whenever they do get around to it. I mean, it's like 3 days and I have it. And also anyone who orders that Universal Monster box set Blu-ray or the Creature from Black Lagoon Blu-ray set, Universal is sending out their replacement disc now for the last two films in that set. So just send them a receipt and they'll send you a replacement disc because they screwed up like the Revenge of the Creature picture quality and stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah.
As far as weird stuff goes, I know Cameron was talking about the KFC log. Jimmy Dean has done like sausage scented wrapping paper this year. So
That is so disgusting.
it sounds gross, doesn't it? Yeah.
That sounds like something you put under your tree and you wake up in the morning and your dog's dead from eating wrapping paper. You know what I mean?
Well, wait a minute. This is the Sausage Factory. We should be endorsing this kind of thing.
I don't know what you fags are talking about. That's how my room smells all the time. That's just not when I'm letting out gas. Fuck. I don't know if you guys
That is gross.
If I woke up to that smell, I'd think my house was on fire or something.
Or like you wake up to that smell, and you're like, oh God, I'm so hungry. It's somebody's fixed sausage, and it's like, oh, it's just my damn wrapping paper.
The dog would eat it. If you had a dog, I'm pretty sure the dog would start eating everything.
Links
But I
or
saw
patties?
I saw this wonderful meme going around saying that I'm sure you saw it, Jay, right? Where it's start wrapping up empty boxes.
Yeah.
And
so every time your kid screws up, just throw one of those in the fire.
That's smart.
That's a great idea.
That is a great idea.
That is one of the greatest memes I've ever seen. That I'm usually never jealous. That makes me extremely jealous of all you guys that have kids. I would fucking get a huge box and I'd be like, "Oh, what's that, Michael? Oh, okay. So grandma, she's a bitch now. Oh, like this is your fuck it," and just throw it into the fireplace. Like, no.
I'd be like, so you don't want to brush your teeth tonight? Well, bye-bye PS Vita. What else do you not want to?
He's on his hands and knees. He's like, God, no, please.
That that kid will brush their teeth every day for the rest of their life after that.
But you're gonna have to put something in it because the kid's gonna notice the weight and it doesn't shake and all that stuff. So you have to put something in it. Put some dog bones or something in it.
Yeah.
Put all your copies of your Rob Zombie movies. Just fucking pile them in. Fucking toss them in there.
You can have a Rob Zombie DVD burning party orc.
Yeah, or actually, there's one thing that's better than Rob Zombie movies to burn. It's anything trauma. Yeah, stick that in your place and smoke it like coffin.
What is this nonsense about remaking the Toxic Avengers a big budget movie?
Oh my god!
Legendary Pictures. It's the Godzilla people.
Oh god!
Unbelievable.
Is Arnold really going to be in it? Because that was rumored before.
What?
That Arnold was going to be in it. He was going to play the Toxic Avenger or somebody fighting him or something like that. Yeah,
that's insanity. That's insanity. Insane.
Why?
Would you boycott that movie?
I wouldn't go see it.
I don't know anybody who would go see it.
I don't. Just I don't know. That sounds like an Onion article to me. You know what I mean?
The only way that could maybe work is if they got James Gunn to direct it.
Yeah.
Because he's got that trauma sensibility.
Oh my god! Are they that bankrupt? The ideas that they would remake the Toxic Avenger as a big budget movie that doesn't even make sense as a big budget movie. It's not commercial.
Mm-mm.
Well, remember there was a children's cartoon based on it.
That's
the
right.
Toxic Crusaders.
Video games.
There was
I used to watch that.
This game too.
I did too.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, he was.
Anyways, so who's seeing Aquaman? Yeah.
Oh, I am because on Vudu, if you buy a movie less than $10, they give you a free ticket to see it. And so I was like, okay.
Oh my!
I think there
Jeremy-
should be a Yo Noid movie as well as a 7-Up Spot movie made too.
Well, Jeremy wants to go watch Aquaman, so he and I'll go watch Aquaman at some point. Which I mean, I've got hopes for it because it's James Wan, but it's James Wan in the DCEU. So, I mean, it's anything can happen.
It's James Wan filming a green wall with actors in front of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that trailer looked
I just want to see hands come out of a cave and go like this.
But if that movie is a big hit, and it probably will be because Mary Poppins is getting lukewarm reviews, Spider-Man is getting good reviews, so it'll be Aquaman and Spider-Man. But if it does really well, that just bought us an entire 10 more movies in the Conjuring universe. So
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'm talking over everybody because my Wi-Fi sucks ass. But was The Nun any good? Did you guys any of you see that?
No, it was horrible.
It was not good? Oh, wow.
No.
My girlfriend is petrified of anything that involves demons or possession. She watched the whole thing, and at the end of it was like, that sucked. Like one little.
She just walked out with her.
One little jump scare got her. That was it. The
Good.
rest of it, she was like, that sucked. And it sucks. It sucks bad.
Yeah, I may have told you guys before. We saw a trailer for that before something with my kids, and they were like, after we got home, they were like, "So nuns are evil, right?" And I was like, "Wait, no. That's don't associate that with what nuns are."
I'll endorse that.
Well, if you went to Catholic school,
parenting thing where he's like, no, Johnny with at the altar, he's the bad guy because he hands out candy, and stay away from him. You don't want to see him.
if you went to Catholic,
Good job, Jay.
if you went to Catholic school, a nun could definitely probably be your idea of a villain for sure.
I love when all the old memers post on Facebook. They're like, back in my day, we had a ruler, and if you acted out of line, we hit you upside the head. I'm like, whatever, hide post, unfollow. It's all good.
well, but I haven't seen it. So if anyone has a UV code they want to get rid of, I'll take it. So
That would entail someone buying that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll second that TV code thing.
Yeah. Were there any other movies on your list, Cameron?
all the ones you guys have all talked about. I mean, I'm so happy Scream Factory put out Candyman, and they put out they matched Arrows tit for tat. They put out the unrated cut with it. That's great. The Urban Legend. I've never really been that big of a fan of the movie, but I got to tell you, a 3-hour documentary about it, that's pretty awesome. Makes me anxiously, I don't know. I'm a little interested in Valentine now, another shit movie that with a 3-hour documentary on it. I don't know. It's pretty impressive. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're a fan of that movie, I mean, some of these movies are getting more love than like other films that we like generally love. But I do have one more thing to tell you. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the When a Stranger Calls double feature set from overseas that includes the sequel and a ton of special features, including the original short film that When a Stranger Calls was based on, is region free, and you can get it for $20 US from the UK right now on Amazon.
Oh, cool.
Region free. So you can't beat that. Blu-ray double feature set. So
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But I haven't watched your review yet of Cutting Class. I heard that's a pretty good release. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Very nice release. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard Jill does an amazing tell-all 35-minute interview.
She does. Yeah. I mean, yeah. She doesn't talk about Brad too much, clearly,
Right.
but it was not a pleasant experience for her making Cutting Class.
Yeah.
So
I had a really random experience once. I went down to LA to visit a friend, and he was helping out with a play. And he said, would you mind helping to sell tickets for the play? And then you can kind of come in and watch it for free. And I said, sure, why not? You know, it's an hour or so. Well, the co-person selling the tickets next to me was Jill Schoen. And so it's just crazy. So like, yeah, she was telling me, I don't know about these same stories, but she was very open about a lot of things. So she was very nice.
Yeah.
So.
I love Jill Schoen, but yeah, she didn't go into a whole lot of detail, but she was, there were a lot of issues between her and the director, and she just didn't like the script, and it just, she said she just wasn't into it. So, but yeah, really, really nice release from Vinegar Syndrome. The picture quality, sound quality is really good. Really nice release.
Yeah. Vinegar are good guys because they're preserving stuff that no one else would even think to preserve.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Them and Severin Films. They both. It's like they go out and they're like, okay, so nobody else in their right mind is going to preserve Blood Harvest. Let's get it. Nobody in their right mind is going to preserve Anthropophagus. Let's get it. You know what I mean? And let's give these Blu-rays the red carpet treatment. That's what I love about those two companies. So
I'm telling you, if that whoever the company was that put out Rawhead Rex, if they had gotten a Clive Barker commentary on that thing, I mean, I would have paid $30 for that thing.
It's Vestron, I believe.
It was Vestron. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's actually one I've actually picked up over the past couple of years. One of the very few.
Mm-hmm. Jacob McCullum mentions in the chat, and I have heard this, but The Hitcher is getting a Blu-ray release.
Really?
It's from a company overseas, but it is an all-region Blu-ray release.
Beautiful.
And it looks, and you can there's like 5 different cover art designs, and I mean, it looks really good.
Awesome. It's going to have all the special features, probably.
I'm not exactly sure about the extras. I don't know if I saw anything listed for extras. But it's got like a new transfer and all that jazz. So
you think they'll include Hitcher 2 with it?
God, I hope not. I hope not.
I think I've seen Hitcher 2.
You've not missed anything.
How was the Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 Blu-ray? Is that cool?
I've not got it yet.
Okay.
Scream Factory, they pushed back the thing, and then I don't know.
Oh, I thought you got the figure, so I thought you got the disc. So.
No, I did. That's the whole thing. Yeah, like you're supposed to get it 2 weeks early, and they're like, no, not going to get it 2 weeks early, and then they just shipped it like the other day.
No,
so, little perturbed at them for that, but we'll see. It'll be worth the wait. It'll be worth the wait.
Did any of us see Suspiria?
Yes.
Lauren has seen Suspiria.
Oh wow!
Is it worth getting the Blu-ray in January?
I would really recommend renting, streaming, Redboxing, whatever first. It's not a bad film, and I did enjoy it, but it's long, and you feel its length, and it's all over the place. I mean, there are side stories that are being told that each are the movie for 20 minutes. And the ending, although extraordinarily graphic and brutal, there's an artistic choice made that you may not be on board with, and it changes some characters fundamentally from the original. So if you're going to be triggered by that, you're going to be triggered by that. I was okay with that aspect of it, but I know some people weren't.
I remember when we first talked about it on here, I said that, it's getting a test screen. It's 3 hours long. And everybody on here was like, well, they're going to cut that. And it looks like they really didn't cut it.
They didn't.
Wow.
They didn't. There's everything from fascist politics being introduced as a theme to there's a lot. And I think I need to see it again before I can really decide where I fall on it. But it's a lot of movie, and it's all over the place, which is so strange because the original Suspiria is so focused. It's definitely a different beast. I don't think even the word remake really makes any sense.
Okay. I noticed Rambo Raff was in the chat earlier. How you doing, Rambo? If you're still with us, hope you're doing well. Tags McGee is giving Monty a shout out.
Ah, hey.
So you've got a fan in the chat tonight, Monty. Very nice. Well, Monty, why don't you take over, man? What were some of your favorite movies of 2018? You're muted.
There we go. Am I here?
There you go. You're good. You're good.
Okay. You know what? Actually, my favorite movie, I think everybody is sleeping on here. Nobody attacked me, but I thought Solo was awesome. I rented that the other day. I don't understand why everybody was hating on it. I thought it was a really good movie.
We were talking about Solo a little bit earlier, and I have no problems with the movie. I know Andrew said he liked it quite a bit also. So,
like, I don't understand what the fuss was about it. I thought it had a really good, brisk, fun pace. I mean, it was a little bit long, and the story wasn't like exceptional, but I thought it was a really fun movie. I mean, I thought it was better than The Last Jedi.
I'll tell you what.
I agree.
If Solo had come out on the Disney streaming service as like a 10-episode TV series, nobody would have complained about it. But because it came out, 4 months after Last Jedi, after that, and then it was just kind of lukewarm about it, I think people would have been more friendlier to it if it had been a series on TV.
Yeah.
I think it's just bad timing. And now you're never going to know why Darth Maul was in that movie.
Right.
Spoilers.
Actually, I had no idea he was in that movie at all. When he popped up, I was just kind of like halfway asleep on the couch, and I was like, Darth Maul? Like where did he come from? But I just like the fact that it wasn't, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm like the rest of us. I like hard and dark and gritty stuff. But the stuff that they pulled in The Last Jedi was just so jarring to me. Like, I think it was like being risky just to be risky. You know what I mean? Like, we're just going to mess with you just to mess with you, rather than letting it be like from a, just like a creative, organic kind of way of storytelling. I don't know. I just thought the movie was a lot of fun. I thought people were too hard on it. I just really enjoyed it.
Okay. What else have you got? What else? What other movies are on your list?
Oh, goodness. Let's see. What else do I have here? Of course, Mission Impossible Fallout. That was freaking awesome. I mean, my goodness. I'm surprised they were able to actually stretch the series this far. My only issue with Mission Impossible Fallout was the length. I have no problem with epic storytelling and all that. That's great. But I think sometimes you can kind of cut it a little bit short. I don't see what the problem is with having a movie be an hour and 45. Like what happened to those days? But Tom Cruise, that dude is an animal, man. Like he's really crazy. He just does not give a damn. He will throw himself in front of a car and just be like, as long as the audience is entertained, I hope they get their $10 worth. But I thought that movie was awesome.
They should go back and refilm the train sequence in part 1 so that Tom Cruise can really like fly onto a train. But what happened to the days of the hour and 45-minute movie? It's called $15 tickets, matinee.
Exactly. Right.
If the movie prices came down, you can make film shorter again.
Well, I've heard Tom Cruise say, people have asked him like, why are you still doing all your own stunts? And and he's like, because he wants to give people their money's worth when they come and watch one of his movies.
Right.
So I mean that's admirable that he's.
I can respect that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah. And he wants to do it himself so that it gives it that realism of, it's really me doing it. And he's probably an adrenaline junkie at this point, because that's this is like the 15th Mission Impossible. So he's just like, yeah, strap me to this thing and shoot me out of a cannon. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they should take some of that movie and remake Mission Impossible 2 because I still have bad memories of Mission Impossible 2. Like, oh my god.
When Fallout came out, I was gonna watch them all, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot about part 2.
Oh my
It's the
God.
John Woo one, right? And
John
I love
Woo.
John Woo, but it's just not a great movie.
Did anybody see that in theaters when that came
Yeah.
out?
I
I
did.
did.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh,
I did.
God.
I did, and you know what else I did? I went on fucking LimeWire, and I went on Napster. LimeWire wasn't even out yet. Hey, here I go now. Here I go into new days. And then, of course, the Limp Bizkit song. Look at me now. Winner, winner, win.
Was that the song? Oh, yeah.
You know that
Why you want to hate me?
the guy that played the bad
Why you want to hate me?
the guy who played the bad guy in Mission Impossible 2, he had to come back and do reshoots. And because he did reshoots, he couldn't be Wolverine in the X-Men. So that's why Hugh Jackman got the part.
Did
I'm
the
so happy it turned out the other way.
did the Doves have to come back to reshoot flying in slow motion over fire?
Yes.
What was the Simpsons quote about John Woo? Like any woo is excessive woo or something like that. I don't remember. It's some funny.
Can I do my cover real quick though? Now I know why you wanna hate me. Cause that's all I wanna do is see you lately.
Hey,
Why you wanna hate me?
But for you, John Woo collectibles out there, completists out there, I should say, his director's cut of Wind Talkers just hit Blu-ray last week, and no one knows about it.
There's a
I
reason.
Totally forgot about
There's
Wind
a
Talkers.
selective memory there.
I know, but they dropped it and they didn't tell anybody that it was coming out.
I learned a lot watching the movie, but aside from that,
Christian Slater was in that, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Christian Slater's due for a big career rejuvenation.
Oh man. Broken Arrow was on TV last night when I was at work. I'm sitting up here like, oh, Broken Arrow is on. I forgot how cheesy John. Oh, it's another John Woo movie. I forgot.
Yep.
Yeah, that's got some fantastic action in it. I'm not the biggest fan. You know what? I wonder, do you think they'll ever come out with a special edition of Hard Rain? You guys remember that movie?
oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Yep. I remember that.
Will there ever be a special edition of that? Probably not.
Yeah, it'll come out double feature with Daylight.
Probably.
Yes.
Probably. Yeah.
yeah. I watched Face Off the other day, and I was like, this may be the best movie ever made.
Yeah. Great movie. Great movie. Great movie.
You know, strangely, I saw an internet website where they were hating on Face Off, and I was like, that's one movie that I get very personal about. I'm like, wait, don't excuse me, don't talk shit about Face Off. Don't do that, because I remember going to see that opening weekend, and you guys remember THX Sound?
Oh, of course.
Theater. And I remember when the movie, I remember my eardrums were just like blown, and I mean that's the first movie I ever saw where the entire audience clapped when it was over.
I just remember my girlfriend at the time leaned over at about 5 minutes into the movie and she said, "Is the whole movie going to be this violent?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Yup.
There's a really crazy direct-to-video ripoff of Face Off called Exchange, and it has Kim Coates and Kyle MacLachlan as the characters who get their faces swapped.
Oh wow.
And it's unbelievable to see those two actors trying to imitate each other because they're both obviously just like chewing scenery the whole time. The movie beyond them really sucks, but I don't even know if that's available on anything, but search it out.
Go on my list.
I love Cage's performance in Face Off, because I mean at the beginning of it he's just chewing up the scenery and I can eat a peach for hours, and then he flips and he's so emotional and he's like punching himself, and you know what I mean. I just love his performance in that movie, man.
Everybody's really good in that movie. I mean, it's a big special effects action movie, but it's really a character film too. It's great.
Yeah. Really good movie.
And you get that big fight at the beginning, then you get the somewhere over the rainbow scene, and then you get the big boat chase at the end. I mean, you get it all in that movie. Oh, and then you get the prison breakout. I mean, you get it all in that movie. I mean, 2.5 hours is like, I mean, that's talking about getting your money's worth.
Absolutely.
No joke.
And it's all practical. It's all practical action. Like dudes are like literally like. I think Wu said during the boat chase somebody almost got killed on that.
Oh, I'm surprised no one didn't get killed on that.
Yeah, because when the guy goes over the side and he hits the water, I'll never forget the entire audience was like, "Ooh!" Like you could just hear the room, like you felt it, man.
And whatever happened to Dominique Swain?
Lolita came out, and that was the end of her career.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that makes you feel like a pervy old man.
It's Jeremy Irons in that, right?
Jeremy Irons. Yeah, I thought that was a good movie.
Yeah,
Oh, man. It's so uncomfortable.
yeah.
That will never see the light of day on Blu-ray. Never.
Well, who saw the original? Is like, we got to remake this.
Oh, that's ripe for a remake in light of Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah,
But that was at the time when Kubrick was still alive. Because I remember back in the mid '90s, I bumped into Mick Garris at one of the Fangoria things, and I said, "When is The Shining?" I mean, I know people don't like it, but I said, "When is The Shining going to come out on DVD?" And he goes, "They won't let it. Kubrick won't let it until he dies."
Oh wow!
And that's why after he died, it came out on DVD in that special edition.
Oh wow!
So he told Warner Brothers, no. So that's why Lolita pretty much went straight to Showtime, as opposed to no theatrical release.
Wow.
Kubrick had a lot of power.
I don't think I've seen that Shining. It was like a miniseries thing, right?
Yeah, I think it was like what two episodes or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
But the DVD is great because it's got a full commentary with Stephen King, and it's really cool.
Ah.
That's a painful watch though. You got to be down.
I know it has the guy from Wings in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot in the novel that just doesn't translate to screen in any sane way, and they did it with the CGI of the time. So it's a nightmare. It has pacing problems. It didn't need to be as long. It does have the original ending, which is nice to see realized, but that's about it. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's not Langoliers bad, but it's bad.
I saw it the first time the first time it aired on TV years and years ago, and I've never wanted to go back.
It's still better than Rose Red.
Oh, that's another painful watch.
Oh, come on, guys. What about the Tommy Knockers? We know how great Tommy Knockers is.
I think that may be a little bit better, actually.
Or Kingdom Hospital.
Have you read Tommy Knockers, though? The
No,
novel?
sir.
I mean, it is all over the place. There's just short stories that he just ported right into the middle of the novel by changing character names. It's awesome, but it's a mess. So the fact that they made a crazy Tracy Lords vehicle for television, sure.
it only needed like John Waters directing it, and it would have been perfect.
Hey, that would be awesome.
Well, I'll talk about some of my favorite movies that came out this year. Got to be number one at the top of my list was Mandy. I loved that movie so much. It took the tired revenge movie and just shot it full of like LSD and speed. And it was, and Nicolas Cage's performance. I mean, my God. So he says like 3 words in the entire movie, but he is so intense and so badass. And oh my God, when he makes that axe, oh God. And that movie gave us a Nicolas Cage chainsaw fight. I mean, my God, what an amazing thing. You know what I mean? Jeez, oh Pete. And Nicolas Cage, like the director told Nicolas Cage to like model his performance after Jason Voorhees from like Part 7. So like Nicolas Cage watched Friday the 13th Part 7, modeled his performance after Kane Hodder's Jason in that film, and Mandy was born.
Can you just imagine Nick Cage like in his castle watching Part 7? all right. He comes out of the water. I got it.
Like I can see him pausing it like every few seconds on Jason and going, okay, what's Jason's internal motivation here? Okay.
He's a stinky zombie. All right.
So wait. In this part, he's got a weed whacker. Okay, I see what they're doing here. Okay, all right, I got this. I got this shit down. Let's go, boys.
Is that how you wind the spool?
Then he's like, what's with this character, Bad News Cruz? What's at the center of that character. You know, let me call this actor. Where have I seen this actor before? Oh my God, that's right. Weekend at Bernie's. You know what I mean? Oh my God, so funny. I met that dude at a convention. As we were driving into the convention, he was sitting outside smoking, and I was like beating my girlfriend. Roll down the window and yell Bernie. Roll down the window and yell Bernie. And she was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So then when we got inside and we met him, she was like, he was trying to get me to roll down the window and yell Bernie at you. And like he was laughing and going on. And I was like, surely that's not the first time somebody's yelled Bernie at you. And he was like, no. but he was really cool. He was really funny. So yeah, he was really cool. But yeah,
just known as a dead guy for 2 entire movies.
That had to be an easy gig though. That's an easy paycheck. You know what I mean? That's an easy paycheck, you know.
Hey, you know, my favorite scene in Weekend at Bernie's is I think it's the scene where they take his toupee and they use the what is it? The staples and the staples. I love that scene. Oh, that is so great.
I've got to go rewatch the Weekend at Bernie's movies now. Jeez, oh Pete, man.
Oh man.
The first one at least.
Yeah. Another movie that I loved that completely flew under the radar this year, like nobody saw it. Searching, really, really good movie. I know Rambo Raff really liked that movie as well, but it was out in theaters for like no time, and then it just went away. Nobody saw it apparently, which is a shame because it's a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend it.
Who was in that, Piz?
What's his name? Let me look him up here. Jeez. I think it's John Cho. That's right. John Cho is in it. He's the lead. He's searching for his daughter who's disappeared. It all takes place from like the point of view of his daughter's laptop.
Oh wow.
And yeah, he's like searching her laptop to try and find clues, and it's this really nice, intricate not murder, but this really interesting, you know, mystery, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, definitely check it out. I think I'm pretty sure it's out on Blu-ray now. Yeah, I know it's out on Blu-ray now, but definitely recommend it. Really, really good movie. I know somebody mentioned Upgrade earlier. I loved Upgrade. Loved that freaking movie. Loved that freaking movie. Great flick. Again, sort of took a familiar, sci-fi action movie and did some interesting things with it, and made it lower budget so that it could be a little more violent and a little more graphic, you know what I mean? And yeah, really good movie. And it's got a very interesting it's got an ending that you may not. I've actually heard that the ending turned some people off, but I thought it was the exact right ending. But really loved Upgrade. Let's see. Hereditary. I know Lauren mentioned Hereditary. I really liked it too. That one to me is sort of the last act of it is when it becomes a horror movie. Like it's one of those movies that builds and something horrible is going to happen, and it does. But the family drama up to that point and the performances, especially Toni Collette, was just so good. So good.
The last 20 minutes, it's just like you snap your fingers and it's go, and it doesn't stop.
Yeah, it does not stop until the end. Yeah, exactly. Great stuff. Great stuff. I really liked the Meg. That was a fun one. I mean, just a giant shark movie with, freaking what's his name from
Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson, but
Jason Statham.
Yeah. I mean, Jason Statham versus a giant shark. You can't go wrong there. You can't go wrong there. There were some movies I really wanted to watch that I just did not get the opportunity to. Of course, one of them was A Quiet Place. I really wanted to see Overlord. That one came and went really quickly. The House That Jack Built, I'm really interested to see that whenever it comes out. Suspiria, of course, and Hellfest. Hellfest is coming out. I think it's going to be streaming sometime later this month, I think maybe, and then it's going to hit Blu-ray. Blu-ray next in January.
Yes, the 28th streaming and the 10th, I believe, for physical of January.
So definitely looking forward to that too. I will say there's another movie that I really like this year. It's kind of a deep dive. It's a movie called Wildling. And it was one that I watched it, and it was really good, but like it's kind of stayed with me and made me want to go back and watch it again. Really good performance from Brad Dourif in that movie also. Just really interesting movie. Check it out. Wildling. Really good movie. Yeah.
It's got to be good.
Yeah, very good performance from him in it too. Very good performance.
I'm seeing people all online saying that they enjoyed the Halloween. Oh no, sorry, they enjoyed the new Leprechaun movie more than their new Halloween movie.
Oh, come on!
I'm kidding. They can't be serious.
They are.
They're trolling.
They gotta be, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, Halloween is. I didn't put Halloween. Well, yeah, actually, yeah, I did put Halloween on my list. Yeah, I did. I mean, I liked Halloween.
Yeah, I saw that one too. Hey, 4 movies. I'm up to a really good number.
But yeah, so those were my favorite movies of 2018. Let's see what some people in the chat have said were their favorite movies. Lee Gannon, Infinity War, Venom, A Quiet Place, Slaughterhouse Rules, and Deadpool 2 were his favorite movies. Sibian Seagal really liked Annihilation. Joe Bob Tarhill says Incredibles 2 is the best movie of 2018.
I haven't seen that one yet either.
That was good.
Sieben also.
Hey, shout out.
Go ahead.
Drake is dog shit.
All right.
Steven Seagal, I just wanted to say Drake is dog shit. Good job, buddy.
Okay.
PSA.
Lee Gannon has already seen Aquaman, and he said he really liked it. So cool. Let's see here. Movie Man 95 says Venom is one of his least favorite movies of the year. Tom Hardy speaks like a toddler on heroin in it, according to movie.
It's got to be better than Bang.
How does he know that?
And Jacob McCullum says the Clovehitch Killer was really good. Okay.
It is.
You guys out in the chat, Tags McGee agrees with me on Upgrade. He says Upgrade was pretty sick. You guys in the chat, let us know what your favorite Blu-ray releases of this year were. Let's dive into some Blu-ray releases. I know Cameron, you already mentioned The Last Movie was your favorite Blu-ray release. Any other Blu-ray releases near the top of your list for this year?
Oh, I'm looking. You know, I think the Kino Lorber special edition of Cabin Boy.
Oh, wow.
Because one, I never thought that would get a Blu-ray, and second of all, it has more special features than Suspiria, the Synapse version. I mean, it's. I mean, they stocked that thing with like 3 commentaries, multiple. Sorry, my son's going crazy. But yeah, no, yeah, things like that. Because obviously we love all the great releases and stuff like that. But sometimes I like the weird ones that I never thought would come out in the special editions that we never thought we'd ever see, or we deserve to see. But it's cool that they went that extra mile. I think I love Scream Factory. I think Vestron's really kind of coming up. They keep surprising me with titles. I think they need to work a little bit more on their special features and getting some real talent on it, as opposed to just fans that just come in and do a commentary. I'd like to see some of the people involved with the movie come in and do some stuff. Scream Factory seems to get them, so I think Vestron should take a page from them and get that going. Sorry, I gotta mute it.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely agree. Vestron's making a name for themselves in the Blu-ray market for sure. They released a lot of really good Blu-ray releases this year. There's no doubt about it.
And I just want to say to the guy who said that he liked Deadpool 2, well, you can re-see Deadpool 2 right now in the theater. So they just recut it and put it back in the theater as a PG-13 movie.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, they added a Fred Savage subplot from The Princess Bride into it.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see, Stingray. What were some of your favorite Blu-ray releases of this year?
And I don't even know if I've bought a Blu-ray all year.
Good
I
job,
mean,
Jay.
honestly,
Good job.
the prices have just gotten the price points a little bit too high for me. Honestly,
Well, let's talk about that. That's been a common complaint that I've heard a lot of people say about, particularly Scream Factory. I mean, what do you guys think? Have the prices of Blu-rays gotten too out of control lately?
I think they're getting
No.
ridiculous.
What's that?
I think they're really getting ridiculous, guys. I went to, well, I should have known better. We all know better than to shop at Best Buy for Blu-rays. But either way, I went to Best Buy the other day, and I saw they had a special edition of The Burbs with Tom Hanks.
oh yeah,
That thing is $22.99. Should The Burbs, come on, guys? Should The Burbs be $22.99?
I guess it depends on how many extras are on it and what kind of transfer we're talking about.
Well, it had the commentary, and it's got the documentary. Of course, Corey Feldman was like the first name they put on as the interviewee on there. And I think I bought the double features of Ghoulies 1 and 2, and that was like $21.99. I'm like, come on,
that's well worth it though, right there.
And I'm not gonna lie, I did buy it, so I'm being a hypocrite.
Yeah.
But I think they cost too much. I get them from the discount stores now.
I think it's really short-sighted to have these pricing, the suggested retail where it is, because they're putting them high with the idea that the retailers are going to sell them lower than that just to be able to move them. And the problem with building in a structure like that is that the retailers are fleeing the marketplace. They have no margin on this item, and it's not a loss leader anymore when you click on Amazon, order it, and have it the next day. So the problem is, if you're going to charge $30 for a shopping mall, even if it's on sale, what are you getting it for? $22? That's an awesome sale. It's probably the cost of the item to the retailer. The problem is, why would a retailer stock it? So now it's only people who are going to go online and search for the item that are going to buy it, not people that might run across it in a rack, say, hey, for $15, I would buy this thing. So we're losing that ability for people just to find things that they weren't expecting. The same reason it's hard to find new music, really, is because you have to be looking for new music to find new music. Yeah. There's no MTV, there's no radio playing current, except for, certain genres. So I think it's a big mistake. I think that a lot of films would have a lot bigger reach. And we lost Best Buy as a supplier for the, physical media this year. We're gonna lose Walmart probably within the next 3 years on physical media. And everyone thinks I'm wrong about this, but watch the video in 3 years. It's gonna happen because there's no margin. That's gotta change.
Yeah.
I think once a lot of these old farts learn how to do streaming, it's over with. Because that's the only people who's shopping at Walmart still buying DVDs for $20.
And I'm different from you guys in that I don't care about special features, but if you give me a stripped down version, or at least if that was an option of a movie at $15, I'd probably buy it rather than take the chance of renting it or 3 times in my lifetime. It would make sense, financial sense. But $30 makes things really questionable about whether I'll ever get that value back. So they need to find a way to make this make more sense, or else it will be gone.
Hey, Jay, can I get a real talk?
That's a real talk.
Okay, so here, let's take a little journey into Orc's DVD and Blu-ray collection, okay? So I only bought Silence of the Lambs and Night of the Living Dead this year. Why? Because they're 2 great films, and I love them, and Criterion always does a bang-up job. They were the first, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, everything was nice in collector land, Synapse, good job. Blu-ray Underground, good job. Screen Factory, Shout Factory, good job. Starting to get a little greedy. Stop being a cuck, I can respect that. Arrow comes on across the pond, releases Region A/1 titles. Okay, I get that. And then Vestron just comes out and goes, "What's up, bitch? $40 every title." After it gets released, $35-$40. And I'm like, fuck you. Fuck that shit, dude. I am done. I'm so done. There's so many movies I want to get, half the shit camera name, Urban Legends. What's the other one? Wild at Heart. I've never seen that. It's not on streaming. You have to get the physical copy. So I'm not gonna torrent that shit. I'll give Lynch more painting money and cigarette money. Fuck that shit. But yeah, Vestron fucked it up for me. Like even when Criterion's are $20 on sale, and the Blu-ray releases, and it's 40 or 35. Go fuck yourself, Lionsgate. Fuck you. Fuck you.
You don't want the new Wes Anderson film on a Criterion release?
No, only if I'm sending it to Cole in Canada, and then which case it isn't 40, it's 50 because of fucking shipping. But yeah.
Well, I think one of the problems, I think the reason why, in particular, Scream Factory has had a lot of has had to raise the prices on their stuff, is because they're now having to license more titles. You know, they've kind of, you know, they've drug the MGM lake. There's nothing left. So a lot of the new stuff that they're doing, they're having to license it. And those things, and you know, licensing a movie is expensive. So they have to factor that into their profit margin. So now a $25 release turns into a $35 release or more. And I think probably that's the same reason why, you know, the Vestron people are having to do that. I mean, I don't know, but I'm thinking that's why Scream Factory has had to raise their prices. So I can understand they're having to license more stuff. Now, I heard through the grapevine, this hasn't been made official yet, but I heard through the grapevine that they recently bought the Roger Corman library,
awesome,
which is about 8 million movies that they'll probably be spending the next 20 years releasing, and they own those now. So those prices should be closer to, you know,
$100.
Right. and a lot of those will probably be released in like the double packs too.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, why are they still doing the double pack? Like, what's the purpose of that?
Well, they'll probably be doing that for those movies. A lot of those movies will probably get the double pack treatment, which means that they'll be cheaper too.
Okay.
So they own that library now. That's an enormous library, and they'll be able to churn out those movies at a lower cost for many years. Now now because of that, they may license fewer titles, so we may get less, you know what I mean, the big, you know what I mean, the Candymans of the world, and you know what I mean, movies like that. But we're going to get a lot of the Roger Corman stuff coming very soon. Very soon.
Okay, so that explains why these just obscure movies are just at these really strange prices. I know, like, I was online. Well, this isn't obscure, but I was online, and now there's the special edition of Fright Night that's on DVD. I think it says that thing is like $60 or something like that. Like, it's insane.
If that's the Twilight Time Blu-ray release. Well, yes. See, they do that. Okay, see, like Twilight Time, they license those, and they only do a limited run of them. So they factor in that they're licensing the title, and they're only doing a limited run. So instead of a $30 Blu-ray, it becomes a $50 Blu-ray.
Okay.
And you have to keep in mind too that this is also the rights owners themselves seeing this as the last gasp of physical media. This is their last chance to exercise these to sell these rights. After this, it's going to be pure digital rights, and they know it. So this is their last chance. So they're not cutting any price. They're figuring if someone comes to them saying, "We want this," that person's willing to buy it at a price.
Right.
There's really even 10 years ago, you could license these titles far less expensively, because there was so much competition on the marketplace. There was no choice. But the rights owners know that this is it. This is their last chance to make this money.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is, you know, they're still putting out the double packs, like with the DVD, Blu-ray combo. Why? Like, couldn't they save a good bit of money and just put out the Blu-ray? Because are there still that many people on the fence? Because you could buy a player for the cost of 2 of the movies. I mean,
there are still a lot of people who have not made the jump to Blu-ray, or people, you know, they have like the portable DVD players, or they have like the DVD players in their cars or whatever. But there are still a lot of people who buy DVDs, just straight up DVDs.
I don't get it. I mean, if they're enough of a fan to buy like an obscure horror film from Shout Factory, they should own a Blu-ray player. I mean, you know, you could buy a Blu-ray player for what, $30-$40 now?
Yeah.
Or
So
game console.
part of your answer is actually on the Walmart shelves. If you go down, look at the genres that are popular as evergreen titles. These aren't film classics, generally speaking. This is the horror genre. This is action films. This is cheaper science fiction. This is targeting the urban market. That's what it's doing. And when it comes down to it, people with very fixed incomes, if they have to choose between buying that player or buying a movie on something to be played on something they already own on a television screen that's probably not the best to begin with, they're just buying the DVD. That's why it survives. And Walmart plays exactly to that crowd. So I don't think DVD is going anywhere. I think it's still as an entry level, format. I think it probably has as much life in it as any other physical format. I think Blu-ray is probably more in danger as 4K becomes the same price point, because the people who can afford it are just going to go there. Because why wouldn't you?
I mean, I think I've had a Blu-ray player for maybe 11 years now.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are they waiting for? Like, it's obviously the next step in the format. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I think there's probably a lot of people out there who just think, well, I don't think that there's that big of a difference to warrant the purchase. I don't know. I just know let me do some sleuthing here. Let me type in Blu-ray versus DVD sales, and let's 2018, and let's see.
Yeah.
Because I would say DVDs probably sell just as much, if not more, than Blu-ray these days. Here's something from 2017 from Spectator in the UK. Don't believe the sales figures. DVDs are thriving.
Oh wow.
Well, I can tell you that.
No, that's in the UK. So I mean, but yeah, they're still selling. They're still selling. But that's interesting. That's pretty interesting, I think.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, I think it's probably annoying to people too. I mean, I know before I finally made the switch, like, I'm like one of those like stubborn people where like I'm so fixed in my ways that I just don't want to do the switch. But then when I started seeing that, I mean, basically I got forced into doing it because I was seeing that all the movies that I really like, the commentary and the behind the scenes and the trailer and all that, it's on Blu-ray. So it's just like, well, damn, if I want to see Prometheus behind the scenes and script, blah, 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 I'm going to have to buy the Blu-ray. So I made the switch only by force.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to view it in the best possible way available,
Right.
And, now, everyone can have an HD TV. I mean, they're really, the prices have dropped to where everyone can afford a, decent sized television to play a movie on. Black Friday, you can get like a 40-inch TV for what, a couple $100? I mean, that's not breaking anybody's bank.
Here's the thing, though. How many times, and I don't know, I mean, how many times you gone to somebody's house, though, and they'll have an HD TV, not even like top of the line 4K, yada, yada, yada. I don't even have that, but they don't have the correct inputs plugged in. So their movies look like complete garbage on it anyway.
Yes.
They don't care. They don't look. It doesn't matter. They just want to see the movie. And like my big thing for one at Walmart, like you talked about the urban market, Lauren, and I think the family market, like you get these kids, they're going to have the disc out of the damn case, stepping on it, putting drinks on it, carrying on. They don't care what the movie looks like. They just want the cheapest access to playing the movie 30 million times. Like, whatever Toy Story, for instance, throwing it on 7 times a day to babysit the kids. They don't care what it looks like. They just want the cheapest access to it. And that's what Walmart provides to them, is that cheap entry to getting it on their TV. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like that's a big market.
Yeah, and don't misunderstand the marketplace for rentals. I mean, Redbox is thriving still, and less than 10% of the box is Blu-ray. The rest is DVD. Mm-hmm. That would not be the case if that wasn't what was actually renting.
It's true.
My mother-in-law still runs a DVD player off of AV cables, the red, white, yellow.
Wow.
So like she's not even getting the maximum, picture quality. Not to mention she's running an SD format on an HD TV screen. It's stretched, it's grainy, it's
that makes me
doesn't care.
That makes me angry. Like that happens,
Yeah, and I'm thinking for somebody who thinks that's complicated, HDMI is literally one plug.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
plug.
versus the 12. Back
Well,
in the day.
Yeah.
And Walmart, Walmart preys on those kind of people and talks them into spending $50 on an HDMI cable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You need this.
You need this one.
Exactly. Though this one's got gold connectors. You know what I mean? $50. You know what I mean? Literally, I've seen it. If you look at the prices for HDMI cables in Walmart, they are expensive.
People are so fucking stupid too. You know where gold-plated connectors fucking counts? Wired connecting for fucking controllers, mice, and keyboards for competitive gaming. It doesn't fucking matter what the color is if you're watching a fucking movie. Oh my god. And they walk in there, well, I better get the 60-yard one for like $300 because it'll go from the barn to my fucking Dodge Charger. Like, get the fuck out of here. Holy
That's
shit.
actually the biggest issue. Actually, instead of going for the gold or whatever upgrade you think you do, go for a shorter cable. The shortest cable you can get will give you the best quality.
And I know people hate Amazon, but Amazon Basics HDMIs for whatever length you're getting, so cheap. I don't even bother with eBay anymore. So cheap.
Oh, I had people in
You know
Target
those
one time
20-year-old
hating
kids,
my
they-
name, man.
Yeah.
But it's funny. This isn't a new thing because if people were really buying for quality, Laserdisc would have overtaken VHS.
Yeah.
30 years ago, and it never did because there was no question of quality difference. You could talk about the inconvenience of flipping a disc, but there were players that could flip by themselves. And yes, there was half a minute of blue screen, but realistically, these were people who were used to vinyl records, which you had to flip, and that there was going to be a gap in the music as you flipped the disc. Really, not that different. I think the average consumer just wants to see the films, and that's really just about it. So I don't think DVD is going anywhere. And I'll be honest with you, there's movies that I would consider buying on DVD instead of Blu-ray simply because they're perhaps films I'll watch a couple times more in my life. Maybe the cost isn't worth it. It's possible.
I think that's a really good point. That you brought that up because like the other day I'm sorting through my collection, my Blu-ray and my DVD, and I pulled out that old movie that you guys might remember, Dark Blue with Kurt Russell.
Oh yeah.
And like I'm watching it, and that's a movie that pretty much I only like strictly for Kurt Russell's performance. The movie around it is kind of blah, but that's the only reason I watch it is because of Kurt Russell. But I just saw that they just got it on Blu-ray. But why do I need that on Blu-ray? You know what I'm saying? If I'm only watching it just for Kurt Russell's performance, that's it.
I balked at getting when they first released Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Blu-ray. They were selling it as, oh, it's got this great transfer. It looks so good. It's so fantastic. And I remember thinking, like, I didn't want to buy it because I didn't. When I watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I want to see the grain. I want to see the damage to the film. I want it to look washed out. I don't want to see a beautiful crisp that's not Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So like for the longest time, I did not buy that Blu-ray. I didn't want to buy it. You know what I mean? I eventually did. I mean, it looks great, but you know what I mean? I don't know. To me, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it needs to be grainy. The film needs to be damaged. You know what I mean? That's just Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Excuse me, Piz, don't you own 2 copies of that Blu-ray? You own the truck one too, right?
I got the Black Maria one. I went ahead and picked that one up after Toby passed away just to have it. So yeah, I've got it.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I think if you like Dark Blue, okay, if you don't own it, wait for the Kino Lorber sale, pick it up for $7. Okay, cool. If you already have it on DVD and you're happy with it, awesome. You know, it's like, I know we talked about this before, I think, but like at least in my area, Target either carries just DVDs or 4Ks. That's it. There's like really no Blu-rays. They don't get any Blu-ray TV shows anymore. It's either 4K, it's just or just complete DVDs. So that means the DVD market has to be still thriving. And Walmart still carries DVDs. I mean, in fact, they'll stock the DVDs more than they will the Blu-rays. You know, the Blu-rays like, you know, order only, and the store will get the DVD. So
you know what's funny is every time I'm in Walmart, there's always people digging through the cheapo DVD bin.
Yep.
Always.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I dig for that, Ben.
But I get excited around Halloween or whatever, and they put out those 52 horror films on 3 discs, for like $4.95. I'll pick them up. I mean, I got one of the greatest documentaries I've ever seen in a Walmart bin. It's called the 6 Degrees of Helter Skelter, and literally.
By the way, that's awesome, Cameron. Thanks for recommending that to me.
It is literally just a guy who just walks around, the Manson Ranch and where Sharon Tate died, and just tells you the story. And it's one of the most compelling things I've ever seen in my life. And you can, find it for like $1.95 at Walmart, and one of these that has like 6 movies on a disc type of thing. It's
so Cameron,
I watched it on YouTube. I was like, this is fucking awesome. And then going off of what you're saying, Cameron, like all 50 Puppet Master movies for like 5 cents. It's like, yeah, all right, fuck this.
Cameron,
yeah.
How many times do you own the Killer Shrews then?
The which one? Oh, I don't.
Killer Shrews?
No,
it's on all of them.
No, but I have like 5 copies of Ginger Dead Man 3.
Oh, God. Versus Evil Bong 12.
Yeah, there's a lot of those public domain titles are on every release, like Silent Night Bloody Night, which I love. Silent Night Bloody Night. The Killer Shrews, of course, a lot of the older like Roger Corman stuff.
But they also have like strange things, like Lucky McKee's movies will be on there.
Yes.
Right? Like not Roman. I think it's called Roman, right? The film that Angela Bettis directed him in.
Yep.
Like that's just a random one on a disc too. So like that kind of stuff. I like that kind of stuff. Whoever puts those together are they do a good job sometimes.
It's like Drive-In Massacre, Dementia 13.
Pieces.
Yes. Pieces. Oh, Jesus. Yes. Good stuff. Good stuff.
I mean, it is kind of backwards though. Go ahead.
Oh no, I said it was pretty crazy. I was at Half Price Books, and I saw they had like what is it, Tim Thomerson's Trancers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all like in special editions, like with commentaries. I'm like, what? They just blew my mind. Like Trancers has a special edition.
Well, you know how like we were talking about how we'd go to these horror film conventions, and it used to be just kind of like for us, the horror fans, and then it became really popular. And I think that's what's going on is like we used to collect these Anchor Bay DVDs, and we'd be the only people going in Borders picking up the 3-disc Suspiria, right? Or the 2-disc Opera that never worked on any of our players. But now it's all a collector's market, and like you were talking, I don't know, I missed the whole thing. I'm sorry, because I had to put my son to bed, but the whole thing about DVDs being expensive, I don't care how expensive DVDs are, nothing will compare to Criterion Laserdisc. My Pulp Fiction was $125. my Japanese import of Leon the Professional was like $130 to get it from Japan. Now you can get it for $5 in Best Buy on 4K. So I mean, but it's all, I mean, all that kind of stuff like Trancers and all those movies like Scream Factory, they know who they're catering to. And what's really weird to me, I know every movie has its fans, but this revisionist history that happens, Scream Factory drops a title like, let's say, Valentine. All of a sudden, that movie has like 500 likes on Facebook. Everyone's saying it's the greatest movie ever. I mean, I know every movie has its fans, but it's like, it seems like if Scream Factory or Vestron, whoever puts their name on it, all of a sudden it's reevaluated as a classic. And I think we need to be able to say, yeah, it's cool to have all these special features. The movie's still garbage.
You know what? I think that's interesting because, and I want to say like for like guys that are like our ages, that are like 30s to 40s who remember the stuff when it was coming out, we know it's trash. But see, when they repackage it and remarket it for like kind of the younger, new streaming geek kids or whatever, they look at it and they go like, oh, it's the greatest movie ever. And it's like, you talk to us old guys and we're like, nah, it's not the greatest movie ever. It was garbage when it came out, and it's still trash now.
But are you one of these collectors that like has to have every number, so you have them all?
Oh, absolutely. Like I hate Blade Trinity, but I own it.
Yeah, that's not good, is it?
Yeah, I hate that movie.
But if you pick it up in the New Line, trilogy Blu-ray box set for $9.99 at Best Buy, it's not a bad deal. You know what I mean? Because you can ignore it.
You have to remember though, too, like the guy who was 15 on his first date went to go see Valentine or Urban Legend or whatever in that time period has a completely different experience with that movie as nostalgia today.
Right.
Right.
For us, it might be the original My Bloody Valentine or A Happy Birthday to Me, which, you know, they are what they are. They're good slasher films for their era. Well, Valentine is probably that thing for that group.
Lauren, you know where that happened for me? It's like I was a little bit. I didn't mean to fucking cut you off. My Wi-Fi sucks. But where that happened to me is I wasn't old enough to see it in the theater because at that time I was 12, 13, 14. But what happened is with movies like Cherry Falls, Urban Legends, Valentine, The Faculty, one of my favorites, they'd be on USA and TNT and TBS all the time. So what I would do, I would get home early, you know, not do my homework. Fuck that. That's what homeroom's for. And then I'd watch all the shit they'd show. And then we had Monster Vision and Up All Night, which is why I'm so glad they at least brought Monster Vision back. So that's kind of how I rolled back in the late 90s. But yeah.
But it was interesting though seeing the horror collectors like freak out like when Scream Factory dropped the Human Centipede trilogy box set, because they'd be like, I hate those movies, but I gotta have every Scream Factory movie, and so they they'd all wait till the sale happened and they'd pick it up.
Well, that's what like the Criterion fans were all pissed off that Michael Bay films made it into the collection for the same reason.
They're in the collection.
Yeah, three of them are
Yeah.
The Rock, Armageddon. That's it. Pearl Harbor got a huge director's cut, R-rated director's cut, 4-disc edition.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did, from Vista series.
Pearl
Check it out.
Harbor.
Yeah, a 4-disc director's cut.
Oh God,
Good God.
I can't do it. The
Never
Rock. I can do The Rock because
Yeah.
The Rock's awesome. Yeah.
I'm good with The Rock.
Yeah. And then Armageddon got a director's cut, Criterion approved director's cut. And you know, but what's really funny is the linear notes inside was like I'm trying to think, do I have it up here? I'm trying to look, no. But the linear notes inside will say something like Michael Bay introduces 6 characters in 25 seconds. Each one gets its own like image that you know right away who this person is, what they stand for. That is storytelling. And I was like, holy crap, you're really trying to sell this movie.
Well, we know what the story introduction in a Michael Bay movie is usually somebody will pull their ass out or something will pull their ass, and that's the introduction. That's the character development.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Anybody else have any standout Blu-ray releases of 2018 that you want to mention?
The $6 version of Hard Bodies on Blu-ray with the VHS faux cover art where it looks like the Cheese Whiz is being written on the girl's stomach. Yeah, that was great. It came with nothing, but it has the Cheese Whiz writing on the stomach and fake stickers. Don't forget fake stickers.
Yes,
always
are...
rewind.
Let's see, where's mine at?
I get all those mixed up. I don't know the premise, but all those summer sex comedies, I get them mixed up.
That's the one with Vixen in it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hey, show that
that's
again,
the
Monty?
movie.
I don't have Hard Bodies, but I've got Silent Rage here.
Yeah, I think I've got that one. I've got the one Monty's holding up.
And now now you can order them off. If you go to Blu-ray.com, they take you right to an Amazon link. You can get them all now, which is cool. You don't have to go to each store and look for that particular one.
And here's how crappy my local Walmart is. My local Walmart did not get a single one of them.
What?
Not a single one of them.
Wow.
Because y'all keep buying DVDs.
I guess. I guess that's it. Jeez. Yeah.
No, man, it's just like that in America. Like here up in Maine, and I'm sure it's probably similar in Kentucky if you're not near like Louisville or Lexington. Dude, like everyone's like, I got these VHS covers and they're fucking awesome, and these steel books, and I don't see them anywhere. And then you see some place like fucking Pennsylvania or like Ohio or like Hawaii, and they're like, look at all these displays, man. Look at all this shit. Look at this shit. It's fucking cool.
It's interesting to talk about this because I just picked this up. This is the, believe it or not, special edition of Bright Lights Big City, the Michael J. Fox drug movie that came out around the same time as Less Than Zero. But look at this cover again. The Be Kind Rewind and the, like again with this whole thing of this nostalgia videotape covers.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing because most people, I mean, obviously they're catering to us because nobody underneath us knows what a video store is.
Well, that's what I was
Hey,
saying.
man.
Is it playing to us, or is it playing to the younger generations that are like, "Oh man, retro is so cool"?
I don't know, but it's interesting to me.
Yeah, that's not a bad movie.
People
Hey, hold
people
on,
think the
Cam.
East Coast has everything, and Cameron, I just want to say, fuck you and your cereals. I fucking hate all the exclusives California has. I really do. You know, I mean that in a joking way, but yeah.
That's
Sorry,
right. I
man.
go to the grocery outlet. You can get all those. I got the Girl Scout. What's the Thin Mint? The Girl Scout Thin Mint cereal.
Oh my god.
I've yet to take a bite out of it though.
Cameron
Bro,
will send me pictures of like Lucky Charm rainbow Cocoa Puffs, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like I thought we had like food over here. I don't know.
But
I
another
live in the fattest state in the union, so we've got like all the great shit here.
another disc real quick is the 4K American Psycho, and
Yeah.
what's cool about it is usually the 4Ks so far have been just the movie on 4K, and then you get the regular Blu-ray with all the special features on it. This is the only disc that I'm aware of, the only 4K disc I'm aware of that actually has a new commentary just for the 4K disc, and the Blu-ray gets all the other original features.
Oh,
So,
is it Mary Herron?
yep,
Oh, okay.
a new one by her. So you can get this for $11 right now on Amazon. It's not bad.
Wow, that's not bad at all.
I may have to pick that up.
Yeah, and then of course, the special edition of School Days just came out too.
Oh, that's classic. Fishburne.
Oh yeah, it's like almost every single person in this movie is a movie star at one point, you know. And they even addressed the different world controversy, saying that Bill Cosby stole the TV show Different World from watching an early cut of School Days.
Oh,
my
wow,
God.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
Cosby. Well, actually, practically everybody in that movie was on A Different World.
Yep.
Like
Exactly.
everybody from that movie. It's basically the A Different World cast minus the profanity.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wait, Cam, on that Michael J. Fox movie, does that say Earl's Video Store? Errol's? Is that-
Errol's, I think it said.
Yeah, you guys remember that video store?
Errol's Video Store.
Yeah, I was at a. I think it was at a buybacks. I found a VHS.
They even have the
tape
rip.
of, yeah, look at that. I remember that video store.
But this has a commentary by the author of the book, which is, that would be like getting Bret Easton Ellis on Less Than Zero. I mean, that will be
That'd be cool.
incredible if they ever did something like that.
That
Even
would be cool.
commentary with cinematographer Gordon Willis, who of course shot The Godfather. You know,
Wow.
so yeah, they went all out on such a movie that no one cares about, and that's what I like. You know, when they do that kind of stuff.
Yep, I like that movie. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I recall liking it.
Oh yeah, Phoebe Cates in her prime.
Oh yeah, I've read the book too. Really interesting book too.
Phoebe Cates is not in the book.
No, she's not in the book.
My favorite Blu-ray release of the year was the DOA, the great punk rock documentary about the '78 American scene. If you've ever seen the movie, you've seen it only on VHS, looking unwatchable, distant, out of focus. It's just the disc that came out is just so clear and wonderful, and they beefed up the audio. If you have any interest in that time period in music, it's an essential doc.
It says DOA.
Yep.
Okay, I thought at first I was scared you were talking about the Dennis Quaid, Meg Ryan movie.
No, I guess the full title is DOA, A Rite of Passage now, which I think was originally the tagline, but now they've made it part of the title.
Oh, okay.
When are they going to when are they going to do a 4K release for The Decline of Western Civilization to the Metal Years? Is what I want to know.
That'll come out soon.
There was a box set of Blu-rays of the 3 movies, though, just recently. So
They'll do it because Criterion already went back and remastered the Monterey Pop disc, so people had to rebuy them again. You know, so
actually watched that documentary probably 2 weeks ago. For some reason, I was like, I'm gonna pop that in and watch it. And it's
that is, I'm not kidding you. That's 2 minutes from my house. That where that concert venue is. That's where we went as Cub Scouts to like pitch tents and stuff.
Jeez, good stuff. Any other Blu-ray releases on your list, Lauren?
the only other thing I bought this year that I was ultra impressed with didn't come out this year. I was just late to the party, which was the Criterion release of Cat People that came out in 2016. And I didn't think the film could be restored to that level. And it's not DNR either. It is actually true frame for frame restoration. I think it's one of the best films ever made, and to see it get that kind of love is just amazing.
I just wish that Curse of the Cat People had been like a bonus feature with it.
It's coming out. It might have just come out actually, as on Blue. I'm not as big a fan. It's a fantasy film, not a horror film, really. Its connections to the first film are tenuous at best. Basically, they name drop the character a few times. But yeah, listen, I just want as many of the area of the 30s and 40s horror films to come out looking great as possible. But that's really my sweet spot. That's where you get my money, and that's where I don't even think about the costs.
Well, Blu-ray makes black and white films look brand new.
Yeah,
And they do it right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did they restore that from the original negatives, Lauren?
it's funny because it's not. I believe it's from an interpositive, which usually is it's not. The problems with it usually are that you basically are looking at a film that's been copied exactly once, and it's the first time it's in its proper, black is black and white is white, as opposed to the reverse. So usually the quote unquote color timing isn't perfect, but I could see no problems with this disc. If you're a fan of the period, it is a crown jewel. It looks great, and it's also a really edgy film for its time. It is openly about sex. It just is,
Which Paul Schrader took to another level. So
in both the good and bad ways.
yeah, definitely.
Anybody else got any standout Blu-ray releases from 2018?
Did the Arrow version of Ronin was that this year or was that last year? I don't know, because that's that movie never got any special features over here, and over there it got a big thing, and it's all region free and stuff like that. So I think there's an Arrow sale going on right now. So
Oh, really? I'll have to go check that out. I'll throw a couple out there. I thought the Arrow release for Last House on the Left was fantastic. I know it's not the kind of movie you're going to pull off the shelf and watch on a regular basis, but if you're somebody who really likes, extras and making ofs and whatnot, that's one that you'll pull off the shelves and just check out the extras, because there's a lot of.
Hey, Piz, I got a question for you.
Please. Sure.
Do you like the Last House on the Left release more, or the Hills Have Eyes? Because I have Hills Have Eyes, but I don't have Last House on the Left.
Last House is good.
I think Last House is probably better.
Okay.
I would say Last House is a little bit better. Now, Hills Have Eyes is a movie I would watch more often than Last House, but I think the release overall was a better one.
And you can get them both for almost under $20 now. I think Hills Have Eyes now is like 17. That's that big box set. And that's, come on, it's a no-brainer if you're a horror fan.
Yeah, for sure. The very recent releases from Blue Underground of Zombie and Maniac are both fantastic. Fantastic.
They always do a great job.
Yeah, I don't know which one I like more, because they did an excellent job with both of them. The big thing about Maniac, because most of the extras on Maniac are old ones that are ported over. There's a couple of new ones, but the thing about the Maniac release is that they discovered William Lustig, or somebody discovered the original negative somewhere in some closet, and so they were able to do the 4K transfer from the original negative, and it had all of the outtakes that had never seen the light of day on it, and they were able to restore those, and those look fantastic.
Would you ever have thought a film like Maniac would get that kind of release? Isn't that crazy?
No, yeah.
What scares me is like I Spit on Your Grave, a movie that was banned for so long, and the fact that you could buy it as a double feature pack with the remake at Walmart for $7.88, like right there. I mean, you never thought ever that would be just available like that, and yet there it is. It's unbelievable. We are living in wondrous times, and like there's a part of me that's like, this is brilliant. I love it so much, and then there's another part of me that really hates it because it just makes like so easy for all the new viewers to find these movies, and when I had to like hunt for them.
Remember, we used to have to walk in the video store and like go like in the back where you could smell the cardboard, and it'd be like in those really giant box covers, and you'd see like I Spit on Your Grave. Man.
I mean, speaking of Zombie and Maniac, those were movies that I had to seek out. I mean, I couldn't just, order them up or buy them off the shelf. I mean, I had to seek those things out, and now, I mean, they've both got just absolutely fantastic, like 4K transfers and brand new releases and lenticular slipcovers, and you know what I mean. They're just like super fancy.
But Maniac was one of those films too. Like when Suncoast was big, that was like one that would always be like coming out like every 3 or 4 months in a new like special edition, special widescreen edition of Maniac. It's like what the hell, you know what I mean? Like they just kept cranking those out. It was like almost like Evil Dead 2. Yeah.
And it used to be too that you had to search hard for these movies, and a lot of them weren't available at all. So you always had to have that one tape trader that you knew, or that tape vendor you knew that was willing to sell you a dub. I mean, there's a company out there that probably everyone here has ordered legitimate releases from. That started from a guy who was a dub trader. A lot of Japanese Laserdisc copies off of Japanese Laserdisc or from European VHS sources. I mean, you really had to search for some of these movies that I'm just blown away now that are a click away. In some cases, literally a click away, because there's copies on YouTube that no one's taking down because they're just not competition.
And I mean, sorry, how cool is it to be like, instead of like, hey, I just picked up a Spit in Your Grave at Walmart, let's check it out. How cool is it to be like, listen, I had to go through 3 people and get a Japanese dub bootleg Laserdisc transfer on I told them SP only, okay? So,
or you remember like mailing like DVD-Rs and shit? Like, I mean, it's like go on Amazon Prime right now, or those of you guys that have Prime, and just like stuff that I've been wanting to watch like my entire life is on there. Like the most obscure horror films that you can think of are on there. And it's
I'm the littlest noob here. Remember when Amazon just sold books and CDs? And you know what film was on there? This is when Arrow in the Head wasn't even a fucking website yet, and Friday the 13th films. You know, like Lauren probably was like a mod on there. It was like, get off, you little fucking stupid kid. But this is Suspiria 3-disc edition had the soundtrack. That was when we bought. And we're like, oh, I don't know. A credit card information, maybe it risky. Fucking, oh my God. This is stupid.
You guys are familiar with the website Arrow in the Head, right?
Yes.
Yep.
He is how the guy who did Arrow in the Head, he actually sent me a dub of Halloween 6, the producer's cut. That's how I first saw Halloween 6, the producer's cut.
Wow, that's a cool story.
there was a writer on there that was talking about the Scream director's cut and how it was a myth and how it didn't exist, and it was just an urban legend in the horror community. And so I contacted him. I said, "You want a copy of it?" And he goes, "You don't have it." I said, "Send me an address. I will make you a copy of it." And I sent it to him. He goes, he had to amend his article. It was fantastic.
So when I met Sean Cunningham, I asked him, I said, is there any plans ever to release together officially? And he says, well, it was in theaters, and that's the only time it was ever released. And I said, well, I have a copy of it. It doesn't have English subtitles, and it's in German, but I have a copy of it. And he goes, no, you can't. It was never released on any format. So I described the movie and talked about where his cameo is in the film, and his jaw was just on his table.
That is badass.
What movie was this?
Together.
Oh, okay.
I had him. Actually, if I can turn this way. That's right. There's my poster of Together that I had him sign that day. And he was also blown away by that because he claims there's less than 20 copies of that poster in existence. I don't know if that's true. I bought it on eBay back in the day when no one was using eBay.
I loved that back then. eBay, I used to buy 35 millimeter prints for like $20. I would get Apocalypse Now and I would take it to the movie theater and be like, here, string this up for our midnight show.
Those days are long gone.
Yeah.
Those days are long gone. Also wanted to mention the Candyman Scream Factory Blu-ray, which, I mean, long overdue, that thing to come to Blu-ray, and Scream Factory did a really good job with it as far as really everything. Picture quality's good, extras are good, commentaries are good.
Piz, do you think that movie came out because it's just time Candyman comes out, or do you think it's the announcement with like the Jordan Peele thing happening that like they're just like, you know what, whenever they announce a new one, we get like a remastered version of the old one?
I think that definitely bumped it up.
That probably bumped it up, I'm sure. Yeah.
Did you get the Arrow one too, or just the Scream Factory one?
Just the Scream Factory one.
Okay, because it seemed like it has the same extras, right? Pretty much.
I really don't know. I've really not looked that deep into the Arrow one.
I mean, there's a couple like British, critics and stuff like that interviews, but it seems more or less the same, like big extras.
Yeah.
And I love Jordan Peele and I love Get Out, but I really just wish they wouldn't remake Candyman.
I
Well,
agree.
I've heard several sources say, well, it's not a remake, it's a quote unquote spiritual sequel, which I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like this is going to be the Halloween 2018 of Candyman or
Is Tony
what?
Todd going to be in it? Tony Todd's still in good shape.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine anybody else playing Candyman because I mean, Candyman has such a distinctive look and sound. You know what I mean? His voice. You know what I mean? I can't imagine anybody else playing Candyman.
I just want them. I want them to do just an adaptation of the original short story. Just don't follow up the movies. Just go back and do the short story.
The Forbidden, right?
Yeah.
Well, that took place in like Liverpool, so
Yeah.
I think different would be good in this case.
It was funny. Bernard Rose actually wrote a sequel to Candyman, which was part Candyman, part Midnight Meat Train.
I didn't like that movie.
So I thought that was odd that he was like, I also like the Midnight Meat Train, so I made it Candyman meets like Midnight Meat Train.
I'm sure Clive was okay with that, huh?
Clive didn't care.
That movie goes so bonkers, man. The third act, I was like, "What the hell is going on?" When I rented that, I thought it was just like a serial killer movie, and then it just went off the rails. It's insane.
Well, maybe Jordan Peele will just remake Candyman 2 and 3 as like one film.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's go for that.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Candyman 3.
Who doesn't?
Does that movie even have a Blu-ray release? I don't think so, right?
I would be shocked if it does. I would be shocked. Yeah.
Oh, that's just it. Vestron's doing a 4K transfer. It's going to be $79.95.
Is there?
The Vestron Maximum Overdrive Blu-ray was really good too. I know it was expensive, but that one was a really good release too.
Is there even? I mean, I'm sure there is. I can't think of one. Is there a release of a movie that we don't have yet? Besides Dawn of the Dead, I guess is the only one I can think of that like we don't have like an actual U.S. Blu-ray of
Friday Night Part 2.
No, yeah, Friday Night 2.
Whoever gets that one, that'll probably be Vestron because they have the deal with Lionsgate, right? So,
And music rights issues.
I told you guys not long ago that Lionsgate picked up the rights to Friday Night 2. So,
okay.
And Vestron Video is owned by Lionsgate, so that's a good possibility.
That will be a title sold out around the nation.
Yeah, that'll be a big deal. That'll be a big deal for sure. And hopefully they'll roll out the red carpet for it with a lot of extras, and you know what I mean. I want to hear all about the Menendez brothers and all that jazz.
Yes, that's what I want to hear about.
Yeah.
More than the movie itself.
But
wait, question I have about Fright Night 2 is Jonathan Greers, I can't know how you say his name. Is he supposed to be a wolf or a vampire?
He's like a weird bat thing. I don't know. He looks cool. Whatever he's supposed to be, he looks cool. You know, I'll take it. You know what I mean? He looks cool.
So this is the thing. This is the thing I was telling you. This is Ronin. This is the Arrow edition of Ronin, and there's a ton of extras. One of the extras is like a 40-minute documentary by Quentin Tarantino about Robert De Niro.
Oh, wow.
So you can get that pretty cheap now.
You know what's funny? Like all of these older movies that are getting these new Blu-ray releases, at some point during one of the extras, inevitably somebody goes, oh, by the way, this is Quentin Tarantino's favorite movie. So literally Quentin Tarantino has like 45 different favorite movies. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like everybody, he said this was his favorite movie. But it's like, you know, I've heard that on so many of these, you know, things for these older movies. It's like,
I feel like I can relate to that though. Like whatever I'm watching right now is like my favorite thing, you know.
But there was a period in time, Jay, where like Eli Roth was on every like retrospective, and he'd show up and give his like 2 cents, and it was not so much that he really liked the movie; it was just like that was a way of getting his name out there. So he was just showing up in all of them.
After after Hostel came out, right?
Mhm.
It was like dude was at a film school for like 3 years, and he got the grace of Tarantino, and he's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Many people.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, many people to this day think Hostel is a Quentin Tarantino film because the way it was advertised, if you remember, it never said Eli Roth. It was Quentin Tarantino presents, Quentin Tarantino presents, and so everyone just assumed it was, and that's why I had that huge opening. And then Hostel 2 did not have that huge opening because they didn't like Hostel 1. So
You know what? I will say one thing. I was working at a theater at that time when Hostel 1 came out, and I'll never forget. We had like 20 theaters, so it opened in like theater 19 in the back, and then by Saturday we had it like in the one up front, and it was selling out. Only reason I give that movie credit is because when it came out, I had no idea what it was, and when it did the switch, I was like, okay, but outside of that, you know.
This talking about movies that aren't on Blu-ray in America. Where are the Blind Dead movies? That's a box set that needs to happen like now. And there isn't a U.S. edition of The New Kids, the Cunningham film from '85.
Mhm.
There is a Spanish version of it, but again, that comes to that price versus how much I'll watch it. But I would love a good, cheaper domestic Blu-ray of that.
Mm-hmm.
there was a DVD release of it, though, right? I mean, I
Yep.
remember. Yeah, I
Yep.
got it. Yeah.
And it's improperly, the ratio aspect is improper in it, so you can see more information than was intended. So, for instance, there's a scene with Lori Loddington in the shower where you can clearly see she's wearing a towel in the shower
Mhm.
because the ratio aspect is not correct on the disc.
Mm. Let's see what some of the viewers think were the best Blu-ray releases of this year. Rocky Voorhees says, Piz, did you receive your Silent Deadly Night 2 Blu-ray and figure yet? Not yet. It should be here, I think, Saturday. Let's see. Roland 666, the Critters box set, which I've not gotten that. I've heard really good things about that. Ingmar Bergman box set, Night of the Living Dead Criterion, which was a great release. Evil Dead 2 4K, The House Collection, Sisters, Candyman, Creepshow. Creepshow was a great release from Scream Factory 2, Deep Red, Exorcist 2, The Mangler, Last House on the Left, etc. Is The Mangler out on Blu-ray yet? I didn't know that one. I knew that one was.
It got announced. I don't think it's out yet.
Okay.
I got that Bergman set. It is pretty astounding. I gotta tell you.
Okay.
I mean, this entire collection with all the special features and all that stuff. It's like 15 hours of bonus features.
Jacob McCullum mentions, what have they done to your daughters? Night of the Living Dead, Death by Temptation. I saw the Death by Temptation release from Vinegar Syndrome. It was pretty good. He also says he's looking forward to Bloody Birthday, which I've actually got that. I've just not had a chance to sit down and watch it just yet, but I've got that Arrow Blu-ray for Bloody Birthday. Looking forward to checking that one out. Are there any favorites of 2018 that are on your guys' list that none of us mentioned, none of us went over?
I don't think there was really anything that was really super duper spectacular that I could think of right offhand. I mean, I know what I hate, The Predator.
Really? Is it that bad?
Well, I guess since we've talked about our favorite movies of 2018, are there any 2018 films that really disappointed you? Monty, I know you've thrown The Predator out there. I think I know what will be on Lauren's list.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Stingray? What were some movies that disappointed you this year?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I usually try to think positively about things. I can't think of any right off the top of my head. I'll try to find some and come back around.
Okay. What about you, Cameron? Any movies come out this year that really disappointed you?
I gotta tell you, going to the Predator thing. That's the type of movie that I want all special features for. I want to know what the hell happened. But that's the kind of movie that they don't come out with a commentary. There's when movies don't do well, they sweep all that stuff under the rug. You get a couple featurettes, and that's about it. And that's all you're getting on the Predator. And then maybe in 10 years you'll get the big, tell all thing. But listen, you got Fred Decker and what's the main guys, the director's name? Shane Black. So Fred Decker and Shane Black, here they are back together again from the Monster Squad. Shane Black from the original Predator movie. Movie goes ape shit. Like it should just be a tell-all. Where's the hour of deleted scenes they cut out? Where's I mean, just give us, just dump everything into this release and recoup your money. Because you're not gonna sell any of these the way it is. I don't know. To me, I get disappointed about stuff like that. It's like when a movie flops, they should just explain to us what happened, because you'll actually make more money on that release than you will in the theater. But that's just my opinion.
Good point. Lauren, go ahead. What were some of your biggest disappointments in 2018?
Excluding Halloween.
I've made a vow not to really discuss Halloween anymore. Although I will say, just briefly, that earlier we talked about how people eventually come to like the stuff that they were disappointed with if you give enough time. I feel like the opposite's probably going to happen in that case. I wouldn't say it's actually a disappointment as much as I expected to go in and not be crazy about it. I'm not a huge Conjuring universe fan. I think the later Annabelle film, the second one, is probably the best thing in the entire series. But The Nun was such a garbage heap. It looks like one of those later Italian horror films that had no money and no ambition to have anything going on, except it makes those films look good. It's a nightmare. That film is horrible. And I remember walking out of the theater and people around me were talking as if it was like a real movie.
Lauren, let me ask you.
That was really disturbing.
Lauren, let me ask you, which is worse, The Nun or the first Annabelle?
The Nun. That's not even tough.
I would say The Nun too.
Annabelle is pointless and empty. The Nun is insulting.
And yet it was a big hit in Spain because of the Catholicism angle.
Yeah, it was a big hit here. I can't think it's just the Conjuring thing, because I don't think the general public is that clued in. For some reason that movie just clicked here, but I mean there's a fake out scare in the middle of that. There's a lot of fake out scares, but there's a fake out scare in the middle of that film that slows the movie down by at least 15 minutes. It is outrageous. And then they try and tie it into the greater Conjuring universe in the most lame reuse of footage from an earlier film you've ever seen. It's a bad movie.
It's shocking that how bad that is. And Annabelle was bad. But it's almost like it's like they learned their lesson with Annabelle, and they said, okay, give us a MacGuffin on that one. Annabelle 2 will be better, and it was.
Yeah.
So you'd think they'd maybe have learned their lesson. Like, let's not just throw these out there, universe movies, just pieces of crap. But I mean, this one was awful. Not scary. Lauren's description of it is perfectly spot on. It's no ambition, it's just so, like, you could excuse some of it if they were trying. It's like they're not even trying.
So that goes to theaters, makes a lot of money. Haunting of Hill House goes to Netflix. it's like so well respected and all that. So
yeah.
That's the Conjuring universe. But like, did you guys like The Last Key? I know that was 2017, but
No.
I haven't seen it.
Skeleton Key?
No, didn't see it.
Oh, Skeleton Key.
I mean, I did see it. I did not like it.
Insidious 4, you're saying?
Yes.
I prefer the Insidious movies to the Conjuring universe any day of the week. I fear someday they're going to cross them over and make them the same thing. They are what they are. They're kind of trash horror for the mainstream, but I think they're effective for what they are. Whereas I think the Conjuring universe films proper tend to really fall apart. That second Conjuring film broke me. Slight spoilers, but that scene where you had to play 2 tapes at the exact right speed backwards to get a message from the other side, and someone accidentally has that happen. Oh my God.
I just keep thinking, when's Paranormal Activity coming back?
I'm sure
It's happening.
I'm sure it's happening. Yep, I'm sure it's happening.
Oh man, that just made my ear. Fuck yeah, Jay, commentary. It's the next one we're doing, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
So
You know what? I'll throw one out there. How about Ready Player One? That was one I was disappointed by.
But you at least like the Shining scene, right, Jay?
No, yeah, there was things I liked about it, sure, but I mean, come on, it's not going to be that hard to please me in that regard.
I'll tell you the reason why that movie maybe didn't strike you is because Spielberg used to be able to do all that in his sleep, but after you do Schindler's List, Amistad, Munich, you just can't go back and be that Peter Pan guy anymore. You've seen the shit. You know what I mean? You've seen the bad stuff in life. You can't go back to being an 8-year-old kid again. You have to just grow up. And so when he does Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, when he does Ready Player One, he can't go back to that. It's not him anymore. You know, now he's more Minority Report. He's that kind of dark dystopian Spielberg. Not so it's, you know.
I mean, it was mild fun. It was nice to see the tips of the hats in the homages.
Right, exactly.
Oh, there's Pee Wee's bike and all that kind of stuff. I was in the theater. I'm like, that's Pee Wee's bike. Nobody knew what I was talking about.
But like, other than that, though, the whole time you're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. But then, like, I mean, it's no substance after that, though.
No.
I mean, it's like, oh, there's Mega Godzilla. That's fucking awesome, you know. And there's this thing from my childhood, and
Yeah, it's like a one-time watch, and then you watch a bunch of YouTube videos that point out all the references you missed, and that's about it.
Yeah.
it was like a Radio Shack commercial right before they went out of business. Honestly. So I would say another ridiculously awful film this year, Winchester.
yes, I'll agree with you on that.
Holy God. The biggest missed opportunity of a story that could have been compelling and just it's boring as paint drying.
The Winchester house is 90 minutes north of me. And when they were filming that movie, people who would go to visit the house and all that, they wouldn't even let people, the visitors, take pictures of the house. They said, "Oh no. The movie studio right now has copyright over this property right now, so you can't take any pictures." Like, it's a tourist place. I mean, it's what it is. And so like it was ridiculous. I mean, so that production was hated in this immediate area just because it existed, because they stopped people from taking pictures at a tourist location. So.
I totally avoided that one. I saw I saw that one not being very good just from the trailers, and I was like, nah.
And Helen Mirren's in it for like 8 minutes, and they sold the whole movie around her.
Well, what else do they have?
Can't blame them, yeah. That douchebag playing the lead's not going to sell it.
How do you think that conversation with her? How do you think the conversation with her agent went? Because I don't see how you go to. I know you've won every conceivable award an actress can win, but we have this for you.
It's called Cash Out. I mean,
probably like well, it's probably like, all right, Miss Mirren, we're going to pay you X million dollars for a couple hours work. And she was like, I don't have anything scheduled after lunch.
No, the Eastern Hollywood story. Here's how it went. I'm going to drop my pants. Bam.
But the thing,
Okay.
but maybe someone's whispering in Helen Mirren's ear, like, hey, you know what? If something happens, or we can book you a convention appearance, and then you can make money signing autographs. You know, Stallone charges $600 an autograph. You know, I'm sure those conversations are in there. You know, because
that's a possibility. That's a possibility.
I mean, if they announced at a Creation Entertainment, festival that Helen Mirren was coming for one day, Saturday only, she's going to sign autographs from 2 to 4 in the main room. Oh, please, charge what you want.
Who would do that though? Like, Stallone charges $600 for an autograph.
How bad does Stallone need $600?
Yeah, man, you got to be a fool to stand in that line, man. There's no way. I mean, you don't get any kind of emotional interaction, just nothing. I mean, I wouldn't even. That's a waste of money, man.
Seems kind of degrading to the actor too, doesn't it? I mean,
No, not because they're looking at you and they're going, okay, $600, $600, $600, $600. You know what I mean?
I guess his
I
daughter
just
just
wanna
finally.
go-
Go ahead.
I just want to go with Monte to like when Schwarzenegger's signing, or Bruce Willis would be the best when he's not like fighting iTunes about like all the songs they took away from his kids' playlists and shit. But I just want to go with Monte to like Bruce Willis and just like wait in the line and walk by all the people who are getting close to like meet Bruce Willis and be like, man, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
I
yeah,
mean,
get him, Monte.
You know what? I finally went to a convention, the Horror Hound of 217. Piz, I think I missed you by like a little bit. But I went to Chris Sarandon's table. That was the first time I'd ever been to a horror convention. And I came just dressed like in my regular clothes. So I'm just like, screw it. I look like a freak amongst freaks. So anyway, I go to Chris Sarandon's table, and he was okay, but the guy who was taking his money was a complete asshole. Like, I remember that was the one few times where like I just looked at this guy and was like, you know what, cuz we could just step outside. You know, that's the case. Like, he pissed me off, and after that I was just like, you know what, I'm done.
He's known for being an asshole too.
But Shannon, whatchamacallit from American Pie, she was very nice.
Shannon Elizabeth.
Poker player.
Oh, she
Elizabeth,
was so
yep.
sweet, man. She was great.
When we met Corey Haim, the person who collected his money was his mom, and so like he wasn't
that
allowed
makes
to
some
hold the money.
sense.
That's
Mom-
sad, man. Yeah.
Mom was taking the money from him, and so whenever, and then he would ask, and then he would come up to my friends and be like, "You got an extra cigarette?" Like he was trying to pump it because mom wouldn't give him the money to buy a pack of smokes.
Oh man.
Oh, I feel
Jesus.
so bad for him.
That was a year before he died. So
Oh,
Jesus.
he was broken, man.
Yeah.
it was just sad because you'd see him. You know, this always happens at the conventions. You see that one person who used to be a huge star sitting alone at that table and no line, right?
Oh.
And so you have to think, oh my God, 20 years ago, I would have been stampeded to get to him. And now it's like, hey, how's it going? As you walk by, you know,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
He's
Yeah.
eating like a Frosty. He's like, fucking kill me. I hate this shit.
Hey, in 20 years, that could be Robert Pattinson and Kirsten Stewart and all that, just sitting around signing
Yeah.
Twilight stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Hopefully.
Well, that happens when people do the conventions too consistently too, whereas the lines for people just dwindle down.
Yeah.
You know, there comes a point where everyone has got the signature, and they're just
Right.
kind of, if they're getting something else, it's kind of feeling out of an obligation because they feel like they're super fan.
Yeah. The one guy who is immune to that is Kane Hodder. I don't care how many conventions I've seen him at, his table is always packed. He's always got a line. He's always busy. So, I mean, people love Kane Hodder. I've seen him at just about every convention I've ever gone to. He's there, and he's always busy. Always busy.
Well, he's always giving acting lessons to Nick Cage too. So
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
got another
there's-
one. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say there's always. It seems like every convention there's at least one celebrity who, you know, is just like sitting there by themselves twiddling their thumbs, and I think, poor guy. You know what I mean? So
You know what I noticed when I was at that convention, I noticed how a lot of them just look so tired. They just look like Chris Sarandon. I just looked at him. I went to his table to get it for my mom because my mom loves him in Fright Night. So I just went there strictly for mom. Other than that, I wouldn't have took a picture with him. I like him, but I didn't care that much.
It's
But,
because a lot of them aren't acting anymore. They just go from convention to convention. They're always on a plane, always in a hotel. That's how they make their money.
mhm.
Okay.
As much as I would have loved to have gotten all those guys autographs, like I just don't have like $250 with me, and I'm not going to spend it on that. But like I went, and they all got so excited. They thought I was going to go all the way down the line and get everybody. I just got Tom Holland and left. And I'm like, sorry guys, man. I mean, I'm sorry.
But see, back in the day,
Tom Holland and he rocks the deuces. He's like, peace out. I'm going to Burger King. What's up?
the Fangoria conventions, at least in Los Angeles, were great because you would pay, let's say, $275 for the entire weekend, 3 days, and with your badge, you got everybody's signature that was going to be there. if it was someone like Bill Moseley who had his own table, you paid him $20. But if it was like a guest of Fangoria, they're doing a big special thing or whatever like that, you got everybody for free because it was included in your ticket price.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was great. But then when everyone got the wind of like, oh, this is how you can make money, and then it changed. But for about 10 years, it was all included in your ticket price. Yeah. And sometimes I would buy 2 tickets because you had to buy the next year's already, like while you were there to secure your seat. And sometimes like I wouldn't have a guest that would come, and so I would just walk around with 2 badges and just get everything signed from everybody. And they were always so nice about stuff, or they would be like I had friends that couldn't make it, and so I would just call them on the phone, my friends, and put them on the phone with them, and they loved it. I mean, now I don't know if you can get away with that kind of stuff. The manager would be like, "No, that's extra money right there," But back in the day, you could get away with a lot of stuff. They would, I mean, especially after, if you were staying in the hotel, because most of the actors were staying in the hotel, the bars are always filled, and you could go there at 10 o'clock at night and hang out with Lloyd Kaufman and stuff, and it was the greatest time ever. Then in the morning, you would see like a hungover Doug Bradley eating oatmeal by himself in a booth. And but I mean, I don't know. I haven't been in a long time, but I just remember it being a very chilled, relaxed atmosphere. It just seems like it's gotten a little more uptight lately from everyone. People still have a good time, but it still seems like it's getting more uptight now. More security.
A lot more security. There's a lot more things that, yeah, I mean, a lot tighter security. There's a lot of dumb rules. Like if you're nearby, like I was in at the last convention I went to, I think it was a horror. What was it? I think it was a horror hound. They had these people in individual, like big rooms. So like I went into it was Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patrick, somebody else, and Lou Diamond Phillips all in the room. And I was shooting video of just not of them, but of all the people who were lined up in the room and how horribly organized all the lines were. Well, I scan around and I see one of the security guy or 2 of the security guys with Kiefer Sutherland going, like cut the camera, you can't shoot in here. And I'm just like, really? I can't take a picture of some other fan in here. You know what I mean? Are you serious? And I just kept shooting like I didn't even see him. Like, if you come, you know what I mean? Come say it to me. You know what I mean? But it's like if you go to certain areas, I remember when I met John Carpenter, they were actually threatening to confiscate your phone. If you took a picture or shot video of him, they were threatening to confiscate your phone. And I was like, dude, over my dead body. Because they're so hardcore about these photo ops and so hardcore about, that kind of crap. And I'm just like,
When I started going, anytime you met somebody, photo op was always just like, hey, you want to take a picture? Yeah, boom. You know what I mean? It wasn't a big deal about anything. And a lot of times, like you could talk to them for like 15, 20 minutes, there's no line, you know what I mean? You could just talk with people. It was I don't know. I really have fond memories of all that stuff.
The only time I've been very outspoken about not wanting to do about how anti-consumer photo ops are, how they are just a big money grab, how they're not professional. They all look like crap. It's completely impersonal. And I finally did one, and it was all of those things and more. I mean, literally, they hoard you through. As soon as that bulb snaps, they are shoving you out the door. Literally, you could walk in. I mean, it was like the most impersonal thing I'd ever done. And I mean, Kiefer Sutherland at the very least tried to make it a little more personal, because I mean, he was like, shaking your hand and, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And then, you take the picture, then you shake his hand again, blah, blah, blah. And then you're done. But like with Jason Patrick, I mean, it was like walk in, snap, get the hell out. Hurry. It was like, hurry in, stand here, snap, get out. You know what I mean? Like, no, just hurrying you out it was like the only, I don't know.
But my whole thing is, I think that, I mean, granted, it is what it is. It's business. We understand that. We're all adults. My whole thing is I understand you're tired, but I kind of look at it like they're performing. This is customer service.
Exactly.
You got to keep that energy going. So that was kind of how I kind of felt like when I met Shannon Elizabeth, her and the lady who was with her, they were sweet. I was so shy. I really didn't want to have a conversation, but they talked with me. They were warm.
Mm.
Chris Sarandon's guy, he was just a total jackass. And I'm looking at him like, buddy, I work in the hospital, man. So your little attitude doesn't mean anything to me. You know what I mean? But it's just like, just try to show some tact, just a little bit.
That's exactly the way I see it. You know what I mean? These are actors, most of them. If you were on a movie set, if you're hungover, if you're, you're sick, you're tired, whatever your problem is between action and cut, you're a professional. You're getting paid. Be a professional. When I walk up to your table with my money in my hand, that's action.
Turn it on.
And for those 20 seconds, I should be your entire focus.
Preach on. Preach on.
Because, that 20 seconds to me is something I'm going to remember forever.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, make it worth my 25, 30, whatever bucks.
There's a Bruce Campbell, whenever he signs, I don't know if he still does, but back in the day, he was only obligated to sign the first, let's say 10 rows, right? And then whatever, he would sign all 70 rows because he knows that person is the reason why I'm here. And that's the person who's going to buy my horrible movie I'm making for $6.95 that you can buy at Walmart, right? And if you give every single person a positive experience, you've built a legion of fans that will support you in everything.
Yes,
right.
George Romero was the same way.
Yeah, I think that's how Kane Hodder is too, because like I've been around his table, and I've overheard conversations that he's had with people where he should have, like, 3 seconds into the conversation been like, dude, you're crazy, get the hell away from me. But like he'll at least humor you, and at least, even if it's a question that I'm sure he's been asked, so what was it like playing Jason? He'll answer that question, what I mean? And he'll give you a good answer. So I think that's part of the reason why people like him so much. He may choke you out, but after he revives you, he's going to be really nice to you.
I thought he wasn't allowed to do that anymore.
He's still doing it. Apparently, he's still doing it.
You have to sign a waiver first.
Yeah, I think you might have to. Yeah. What you got there, Lauren?
That's
Lauren,
badass.
Oh, there
Lauren's
it
got
is.
the choking picture.
Yep.
Man, that's a young picture of you looking, Lauren.
It was a long time ago. That was in New York City at a Fangoria convention at the period where they weren't with Creation. They were just doing it themselves. So that's after the initial batch. I'll tell you one thing that's depressing me about conventions right now is that when I started going to conventions, there was a lot of older genre stars, people from the Hammer era and from the AIP era in America, and they'd be around, and they pretty much trickled completely out. And it's because really, there's nothing more depressing than seeing Richard Johnson the last week he was alive at a convention. And there was Richard Johnson from The Haunting, if you don't know who he is, and he was and from Zombie too, but no line all day. He was literally just sitting there drinking coffee, looking depressed, looking sick, and no one cared. The Night of the Living Dead guys should be swarmed by people, and they're always kind of just waiting for someone to come up. Meanwhile, like actors who have one scene in a Human Centipede film have lines. And that really depresses me, because I think it's really short-sighted. We don't have that much time with a lot of these guys anymore, but they're not even showing up anymore because of that. And that's an opportunity missed.
Yeah.
I just want to hear that 8-year-old kid scream, "You'll float too." That's all I'm here for.
I heard that while I was waiting in line 3 hours to meet Robert Englund. I heard that probably a dozen times. I'm not kidding. And I mean, kudos to that kid, because he gave it his all every single time. He was screaming at the top of his lungs every single time. And I was like thinking, like, where's this kid's parents? Like, being like, come on, one you'll float 2 per hour, and that's it. You know what I mean?
They're out there spending that money, man.
Yeah.
Whoever wore their kid out like
Save his
that.
account. Save his account, Johnny.
Those kids made a lot of money that weekend. I tell you that. They made a lot of money that weekend. A lot of money.
has anybody ever seen? It's a little clip on YouTube where John Carpenter is doing a book signing. I think he's doing it in California. But
Yeah,
anyway,
it's
a
fucking
couple of weeks ago.
hilarious. Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about? Where the guy
Yeah,
goes up to
continue.
the table and the guy's like, "Sign it. See ya at the movies." And John Carpenter gives him this look like, "I fucking hate you." And he just rolled his eyes at the kid and didn't say anything. And I was kind of like you could tell that the kid was kind of a little bit detached. You know, maybe he wasn't very social. But I kind of felt like, John, just be a little bit nicer to the guy.
Humor the kid.
Dude.
Yeah.
I
When one of the
understand
first-
it's different. Just come on, be nice to him.
When one of the first iPhones came out, I think it was like the 2 or the 3, and a guy comes up and he's like, "Hey man, what's up? What's going on, John Carpenter?" And he's like, "How did you make your movies?" And then he's like, "Here's how." And he grabs his iPhone and he goes, "Okay, see what I'm doing right now? Okay, see, ready, action." And then he gives him back his phone and he just like walks away. It was at some like Barnes and Noble or Borders or something. It's fucking hilarious. I don't know what the title is, but it's so funny.
I
I
saw-
was like, "Thanks."
I saw footage from a convention where this kid, well, it wasn't a kid, it was a grown man, came up to Ultimate Warrior and just like basically started crying in front of him, telling him how much he meant to him and this and that. And like, if I recall, Warrior, he was in full paint, you know what I mean? He was all warriored out. And I was thinking, like, because it seemed like there was a second there where I was like, Warrior may clothesline this guy and like gorilla press him, you know what I mean? I don't know. But like Warrior was so good to this guy, man. He was just like, so good to this guy. And I was like, go Warrior. You know what I mean? Because
That's cool.
And I think you have to be like that sometimes. You know what I mean? Just show a little bit of kindness.
Yeah.
You don't have to sit up there and be like you're the greatest and but just a little bit.
I feel like if you're not the kind of person that's able to do that, you shouldn't put yourself out in a situation like that. Because I'm not a personal person either. I wouldn't be good in a situation like that, But
Right.
I wouldn't put myself in that situation either.
I saw Burt Ward and Adam West at a convention, and this was not long before Adam West passed away. And they both just looked really bad, and they were pretty much. I was shocked. Like, no, they were completely like alone at their table, and they both looked pretty bad. Adam West looked really bad.
For about 5 years, who sat alone at a table too was Norman Reedus, because he was there promoting the Boondock Saints for about 6 years, and no one cared. And now he can't walk in the room with it. Yeah.
Now look at him. Yeah.
Just 10 pairs of panties at him in the face.
And my favorite, one of my favorite festival things was just happened accidentally. Went in the bathroom. You have to go to the bathroom. You walked up to the urinal, standing there, and all of a sudden, on my left, Rob Zombie walks up, takes his pants down, and to my right, Frank Darabont walks up and pulls his pants down.
Whoa.
And I'm just like, "How you going? How you doing, guys?"
Wow.
It's just like, but it's like, what the hell do you? I mean, it's like you can't be like, "Hey," But it's like,
Yeah. Now let's see what's going on out in the chat here. DJ Donnelly. DJ, there you are. You just woke up. Okay, well, I'm glad you caught us live, DJ. What did you miss up to this point? You missed us talking about our favorite movies and Blu-ray releases of 2018 and some convention talk, some impromptu convention talk as well. CB and Seagal, good night, man. Have a good one. The horror reel says Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was disappointing. Yep, I agree. Wasn't a big fan of that one. Dave Shaw wants to know, when does 3 from Hell come out? No idea.
straight to streaming.
Yeah, probably it'll be straight to streaming. I'm sure.
Straight to Yahoo.
No, you know what? I'll guarantee. I'll tell you what. It'll be a Netflix exclusive.
That makes sense.
That's yeah. Anthony Anderson says, I always look forward to these guys. Keep it up, fellas. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate it, man. Gary Revez says the 80s is just a decade trained to pull nostalgia from. Next decade, it'll be 90s, etc., etc. Very true.
That's when I get off.
The train, that is.
Yeah.
We've got people asking for an anniversary episode with the OGs of the Sausage Factory. That would be interesting. That'd be fun. But you know what? Everybody's wanting the return of B Junior. I've put the offer out there to B Junior. He is welcome to come back at any time he wants. But B Junior is married with grandchildren, so he's a very busy man. So very busy man. He barely has time to, for the Yinling and his, you know what I mean? His beer. He loves he's probably actually given up the beer. You know what I mean? So, all right, Cameron, have a good night, buddy. Take care.
Take it easy. It was great seeing you guys.
Yeah, you too, man.
Hey, Cameron, see you later, bud.
Orc, I tell you what, brother, why don't you hit us with an Orc's Corner? Why don't you tell us about the best meme that you've seen all this year?
Best meme that I've seen all year. Well, I don't know if it's the best, but one of the best I've seen for sure is like, I felt pretty, I might delete later. That's a nice one. That's a solid meme. So I've seen a few guys with like the most massive 500-pound neck beards I've ever seen in my life, and they're just like, I felt pretty, I might delete later. Like Doritos and stuck in their beard and shit, and it's just hilarious. So that's a solid meme. There's been too many good ones. I don't know. Memes come and go, just like McDonald's money, like dollar bills at McDonald's. Just quick stuff.
That's true. What is the best fast food meal you've eaten lately?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm on the McDonald's hype train, and I've been to a lot of fast food places in the 30 years I've been on this great, magnificent flat Earth. Kappa. But it's a little bit pricey in terms of McDonald's standards, but their new stack breakfast sandwich, right? You get 2 pieces of bacon, you get 2 pieces of sausage, you get 2 eggs, I think, and
Good God.
2 or 3 pieces of cheese. It's fucking this big. It's $5, so it's like, you could get something else or get like, $3 McMuffins, but just trust me. Just take the Lincoln and go through with it. You might need a Washington too, for tax, but it's fucking worth it, man. It's
Sounds
fucking
like
worth
something that's like William Castle should be selling you an insurance policy on.
It's so good. It's like the Baconator of like McDonald's breakfast sandwiches. It's so good.
I will have to try that for sure.
Yeah,
So it's basically just shit they already had, and they stack it up, right?
They just stack the fuck out of it. It's called the big stack breakfast sandwich or some shit. Just try it, man. Your whole day will be better. Like your kids will be like, I'm failing school, and your wife will be like, I'm getting a divorce. You'll be like, fuck it. You're just like,
All right, let me ask you this question, Orc. Okay, so let's talk about pizzas, but let's talk about the standard, the pizza places that are in everybody's backyard. Okay. Where are you going? Little Caesars, Pizza Hut, or Domino's?
Little Caesars isn't even on the radar.
Okay.
Little Caesars is good for takeout. All right, the big 3. That's not GMC, Ford, and Chevy. No, it is not. That is not Orc's big 3. Okay, the big 3 is Papa John's, Domino's, and Pizza Hut. I order the most because I like to see who's making my fucking pizza, where it's at, who fucks up, and who's gonna get that big fucking 30% tip. So I Domino's, I would put it number 1, but in terms of taste, I'd have to go Pizza Hut, Papa John's, and then Domino's. But I think Domino's is the best run company because they'll like fix your shitty road if the pizza bounces too much or something. But yeah, that's how I'd rank them. Yeah.
Okay. Good. I actually had Domino's pizza for the first time in probably 10 years the other day, and I was like, it's okay. It's not bad. They had like the little they're like crazy bread, but they're like little bites, crazy bread bites.
Oh yeah.
Of course they don't call them crazy bread, but those were pretty good. What else did we have that was really good? I can't remember. Pizza was okay, but the crazy bread bites were good, and we got something else, some little bite thing too. Cinnamon knots. Those are pretty good.
Those are good. Yeah. Another thing I got at Black Friday was a cheap like smartphone. Literally the best app I have is Domino's because it's like It's like Taylor's putting the pizza in the oven. Taylor's taking the pizza out of the oven.
Hurry the
Jimmy's
fuck
picking
up,
up the pizza. Yeah,
Get a move
that's
on,
what-
Taylor. I'm hungry.
yeah.
Very
It's like, okay, where the fuck is Jimmy? The fucking pizza. They don't do 30 minutes or less anymore. Did you notice that? They're like, it'll
Yeah.
just fucking get there whenever it gets, especially on Sunday. They're like, it'll be there in like 5 hours. I don't know. We'll make you a new one.
My memory of Domino's pizza is mostly from the 30 minutes or less days. And I remember their pizza being better back then. I don't know if that's just in my head, but it seems like it was better back then. I don't
Was that
It
know.
what
was a little bit better. Yeah, like around when XLP got introduced, the extra large pizza, that's when they were at their peak, and then it's kind of gone downhill a little bit and gotten a little bit shittier. But dude, back when I was in high school and I was working part-time, I would literally the driver, I would tip him so well, he'd literally just be like, here's a 2 liter of Coke, just take it. Or he'd be like, here's free garlic bread, just or cheesy bread. He'd be like, just here you go, dude.
Dave Shaw has the best comment of the night. He says, "My local Pizza Hut is always filled with old people raping the buffet."
Yep.
They're the only ones that get salads from Pizza Hut.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch a salad from Pizza Hut.
No, I don't look. Why at pizza buffets do they have salads? I just take the salads away and put a bigger variety of pizza.
There's
I
always
don't-
somebody
I don't-
trying to.
That defeats the entire purpose. Your whole purpose is I want to just be gluttonous. Is that a word?
Exactly.
Gluttonous?
Want
I just
to
be
eat
gluttonous.
as many pizzas as I can right now.
Exactly.
Whether I'm in Colorado, Nebraska, fucking Wyoming, New York, New Hampshire, Maine, any of those fucking states, every Pizza Hut I've been throughout my life, it doesn't look like old people are eating out of the buffet. It looks like they're fucking in the buffet. That's fucking they're just, like people eating them. And it's oh my god. Besides Taco Bell and KFC, which those dual combos may take the cake for dirtiest, nastiest fucking restaurants of like all time. Pizza Hut, oh my god. You walk into a Pizza Hut now, if it's not shut down or it hasn't been shut down by some like a health inspector guy, it looks the same as like 1994 when I used to go when I was like 6. The people are in the food. Fuck, it's like, you know.
Well, there goes our sponsorship with Taco Bell. Thanks.
Yeah.
Well,
That was
we didn't
that was
need any
millions
more
of dollars.
diarrhea anyway. It's okay. We got Del Taco. We're good.
Del Taco. Oh my God, DJ Donnelly says he's not eaten pizza in about 2 years. My God, DJ, I couldn't go 2 days without eating pizza.
Yeah, it's definitely once a week.
Oh, do you guys have Five Guys?
Mhm.
Five. Oh,
Oh,
man.
yes, I do.
Five Guys.
Not nearby. Not nearby.
No.
The fries are really good there too.
Oh my God, what are they like? 1,000 calories for a large
I'm
fry,
sure.
and they're like $7 a piece. Oh, it's
Yeah.
insane, man.
It's expensive, yeah.
Oh man, but if you get a double cheeseburger with a large fry from Five Guys, that's about $15, man. But damn, is it good?
Monty, I'm laughing my ass off inside my head. Have you seen the oh my goodness, oh my damn? Have you seen that video?
No. Who's in that?
It's Damn Drops. It's done by Shmo Yoho, the guys who do the auto tune.
No.
I'm not fucking racist, but it's this big African American guy, and he's
Okay.
sitting in his car, and he's got a big ass cheeseburger, and he's got like fries and like onion rings and shit, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, oh my damn, they going ham." And it's just look up Damn Drops, and
That's basically somebody probably from a Master P video from the 90s.
no,
That's
it's
the 90s.
to get the meme, you gotta watch it, dude. It's fucking hilarious. Just look up Going Ham Shmo Yoho or something. I don't know.
Going
yeah.
ham. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, just like damn, like here, I'll type it in the chat. But yeah, it's my shit. I gotta mute my shit.
Is that your phone, Mark?
That's
You
my
got like
phone.
the ESPN ringtone on your phone? Oh my God, dude. Well, guys, I guess we've pretty much covered 2018 front and back, the good, the bad. As far as movies, Blu-ray releases, we threw in some nice convention chatter there as well. So yeah. So let's go ahead. Let's call it a night, guys. We will be back next week, guys, and we've got a very, very, very special show for you guys next week. very special show, a holiday show with a very special guest. So I won't spoil anything just yet, but it will be a nice show next week. So big thanks to everybody who tuned in. We appreciate it. Thanks to everybody on the panel who joined me tonight as always. And I hope you guys out there are all having a great, safe, happy holiday season, whatever holiday you celebrate. We'll be back next week right here on the Sausage Factory YouTube channel beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mark your calendars. Until then, we'll see you guys. Peace.
Peace.